Very good morning to all of you and welcome to INCOIS Hyderabad. INCOIS, being an ocean service organization, users or stakeholders are the reason and drivers of our strength, growth and refinement. In other words, you are our customers. According to father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi ji, we are not doing customer a favor by serving him or her. Rather, he is doing a favor by giving us an opportunity to do so. INCOIS have been striving to uphold that philosophy intact and shall continue doing it. Today, we are entering into an auspicious event and dais for such a dialogue between us and you, our valued stakeholders, right from fisher folks to industries through strategic forces, maritime board, tourism sector, pollution control boards, coastal population, research and academia, to name a few. Let us begin today's program, the Stakeholders Meet 2025. Now, with all due respect, I would like to request our chief guest, Dr. Shailesh Naik, our special guest, Captain Abdul Kalam Azad, and INCOIS Director, Dr. T.M. Balakrishnan Nair, to kindly come over and occupy the dais. Now, it's my pleasure to request Dr. T.M. Balakrishnan Nair to welcome our chief guest, Dr. Shailesh Naik, by presenting a bouquet. Now, I would like to request Dr. T.M. Balakrishnan Nair to welcome our special guest, Captain Abdul Kalam Azad, by presenting a bouquet. Thank you, sirs. Now, I would like to request Dr. T.M. Balakrishnan Nair, Director INCOIS, to deliver the welcome address, please.
Good morning, all. Respected Dr. Shailesh Naik Saab, former Director INCOIS, former Secretary, Ministry of West Sciences, and Director NIAS, Captain Abdul Kalam Azad, Nautical Advisor to Government of India, and Mr. Kamal Lojan Misra, Executive Director, Odisha State Disaster Management Authority, Commodore Abhinav Barve, Naval Oceanography and Meteorology, Indian Navy, Dharmashastra, Port Officer, Kakinada, Sridhar, Scientist in Charge, Principal Scientist, Vishakhapatnam Research Center, Indian Council of Agriculture Research, Center Institute of Fishery Technology and Vishakhapatnam, Dr. Velviji, Dr. Chitti Babu from MSSRF and Reliance Foundation, Sri Ramraj Narasimhan, Senior Director, Program Manager, Technical Support, Coalition of Disaster Resilience Infrastructure, CDRI, and all representative of our stakeholders from the Indian Navy, Coast Guard, shipping, energy sector, the fishery departments, my dear fishermen colleagues, and all colleagues from INCOIS and other institute who are present here, and warm welcome to INCOIS Foundation Day as well as this stakeholders meeting. So I'm very happy that we have a very non-dignitaries in the dais. So I remember around 2005, 2006, when we want to take this ocean information service beyond the fisheries. That time, so Dr. Shailesh Naik was our director. I know that he was telling that we should actually, whatever the information we have, just tell the accuracy and they give the users. Let the users decide what improvement it require. So that time onwards, we started our stakeholders meeting. getting all the information from the stakeholders. And that is how the most of the services we started only from the potential fishing zone services. Now we have more than 45 services which is regularly going from INCOIS, and all the sectors of the maritime sectors is our stakeholders, being it is a fisherman community, it's the Navy, Coast Guard, the shipping community, or the port and harbors, or the oil industry, or the tourism industry, or the energy sector. One by one, actually, we are making more and more the products. So, as Hari was telling from the beginning, you are our strength. So, we are an institute which is meant to translate the science to the services. So, we cannot do just like what we want to the, we have some science, you take it. No. So, in that way, this meeting is very important to that what information you require, what kind of a data you require, what product you require, what frequency you require, what accuracy you require. So this is how we used to, each year we used to get this feedback and tune our activities accordingly. This is actually one of the advice given by Dr. Sailesh Naik when many years when he was a director as well as when he was a secretary. So this way, I think, sir, I am thankful to the better guidance what we are giving like that, because the concept of ocean information service actually was a very nascent stage of now, but to mature this to this stage, I think that is the how the we require this much of information. We require this guidance. As you know that now INCOIS is not only a institute, service institute, but it's a global institute for operational oceanography, and it's a national pride. So in this respect, we require a lot of the investment in terms of ideas and in terms of feedback. Definitely, we are thankful to Government of India, and our funding status is very good. But what we require is actually the more tuning of our focus, research towards giving a better and a better the services. Earlier, we used to give the only the model output or the forecast, but now we are going for a customized services, and our motto or our future plan is give a impact forecast. Impact for either it's a early warning or it's a ecological service or any other services. It could be based upon the impact what the user is going to get impacted. So this way we are proceeding. So in our the Amritakal vision of 2047, the blue economy and its stakeholders perspective is one of the main target or one of the main work area we have defined. So this meeting, I take it as beginning of that the implementation plan or a working plan or the what is called the mission towards making our products and our focus and our service towards 2047. So once again, I welcome all of you for this important meeting. I hope lot of deliberations, lot of discussions, and the feedback definitely will make us to grow further. Thank you very much. So welcome all the dignitaries and the in the dais and of the dais. Once again, thank you, sir.
Thank you for the welcome speech. Now, next item in the agenda is special address by Captain S.I. Abdul Kalam Azad, Nautical Advisor to Government of India, DG Shipping. Captain Azad took his graduation from Madurai Kamaraj University with the Bachelor of Engineering degree in Electronics and Communication branch. After a brief stint in engineering firms, joined the Shipping Corporation of India Limited, Mumbai. He served in various ranks up to the rank of captain in SCI for a period of 15 years and sailed on several types of ships, including oil tankers, bulk carriers, general cargo ship, etc. Subsequently, joined the Indian Maritime Administration in 2008 as a nautical surveyor cum Deputy Director General of Shipping. He served in the Directorate of General of Shipping for 7 years and later in Mercantile Marine Department, Mumbai, Chennai, and Kochi for a period of 7 years as Deputy Nautical Advisor. He did his Masters of Science in Maritime Affairs degree from prestigious World Maritime University, Sweden. Presently, he is serving as Principal Officer of Mercantile Marine Department, Mumbai, and holding additional charge of Nautical Advisor to the Government of India, DG Shipping. During his stint in MMD and DGS, played a pivotal role in bringing in e-governance solution for certification of seafarers. Also, he played crucial role in several initiatives in reforms in the functioning of Directorate General of Shipping. He participated in several meetings of International Maritime Organization as part of the Indian delegation. Now, I would like to request Captain S.I. Abdul Kalam Azad to deliver his special address. Please, sir.
Namaskar. Good morning to all. Thank you, Mr. Hari Kumar, for the wonderful introduction. Respected Chief Guest, Dr. Shailesh Nayak, Director, National Institute of Advanced Studies, and former Secretary, Ministry of Earth Science, and former Director, INCOIS, on Science for Blue Economy Services. Respected Dr. T.M. Balakrishnan Nair, Director in charge, INCOIS, and Dr. Kamal Lochan Mishra, IAS, Executive Director, Orissa State Disaster Management Authority, and many other distinguished guests, luminaries of the dais. Special mention to ADG Donny Michael. He is my senior in World Maritime University. And my colleague, Captain Manish Kumar from DG Shipping, and several other luminaries in this auditorium. Very warm greetings to all of you. At the outset, I must thank the Director, INCOIS, and Hari Kumar sir for inviting the DG Shipping and officers to participate in this event. We are really honored and humbled to come here and to be among this scientific community, which provide very important services to the ocean sciences. At the outset, I congratulate the Director INCOIS and the entire team of INCOIS for the wonderful service to the nation for the past 25 years and the 26th foundation day today. So my congratulations and best wishes to the team of INCOIS on behalf of the DG Shipping. Just to give a brief introduction about, because many of you may not be familiar with the DG Shipping. The DG Shipping is an attached office of the Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways, and it deals with all matters connected to ships and shipping. Anything in water, floating in water, it has some role. And we call it as a maritime administration of the country. Like DG Shipping is a maritime administration, and we are mandated to implement the Merchant Shipping Act and several other acts which are pertaining to the shipping. And as part of our mandate, so we are duty bound to implement several international conventions, like safety of life at sea is one of the important conventions, sir. Under the Safety of Life at Sea Convention, every government is mandated to provide services to the mariners. Like we are supposed to provide the meteorological services and hydrographic services and search and rescue services. Like that, there are several mandates which each government has to do. Under this mandate, we have a very long-standing relationship with the Indian Meteorological Department for providing the meteorological services for the mariner. I am really not sure why INCOIS was left out at the initial stage itself. Anyways, better late than never, and we are here to partner with you now. And you are providing a very important services to the mariner. And also we have respected Indian Coast Guard and National Hydrographic officers. They are all our organization which are providing services to the mariners. Okay. Now, today I just wanted to emphasize the purpose why we are here is we will be signing an MOU and with the INCOIS for providing scientific analysis and study of wave heights and wave periods for the entire Indian coast, including Andaman and Nicobar Island and Lakshadweep Island. So this is a historic step. I would like to say that though there were some few initiatives by the state governments, by the I think Andhra Pradesh government and Maharashtra and some other in a limited scale, this is the first time the government of India has decided to have a complete study of the entire Indian coast and demarcate the ocean and coastal region based on the wave heights. And another thing, what we observed, there were some studies in 2012 and 2018, very limited scale. But though the studies were conducted, but it could not be put it into use. It is just the reports are just lying in the files. So we identified the shortcomings. Why, despite so much of effort, why it was not put into practice? So we realized what are the weak areas which we need to overcome, and we had extensive discussion with Harikumar ji, and he was very much enthusiastic to get into this project. And finally, I think we have come and we have already issued the work order also, and government has agreed with the project. And I am very happy to say that today in the afternoon we will be signing an MOU as well as we will be signing the contract also, sir. So I must sincerely thank INCOIS for coming forward. As you said, like Dr. Sailesh Naik ji has encouraged you to provide services to the clients, and you have been providing to the fisheries sector. I must sincerely thank the entire team of INCOIS for your offer. And we are not going to be only a customer for you. We will be the partners with you. And there are many more things in our mind, as you rightly put it in your agenda, that how much how INCOIS can help improving the services. In the next session, the fishery, marine and coastal activity, shipping, etc. Because the ocean is going to play a huge role. Because we have already, as far as land area, we have reached the threshold. As our Honorable Prime Minister said, the ocean is a common heritage, and today the security and prosperity of the nation is linked to the ocean very strongly. So this is what the statement made by the Honorable Prime Minister. So now people are looking at the ocean to how we can make a ocean a happy place, the coastal communities development, be it mining, offshore activity, offshore wind farms, seabed mineral resources mining. For each and every activity at sea, we need a thorough scientific data about the weather pattern, wave and wind speed and currents. All these are very essential. We are not going, like as far as DG shipping, we don't bother much about temperature, subsea temperature, that other scientific organization will be doing it, but we are more concerned with weather patterns and wave heights. That is our concern so far as operation of merchant ships and fishing sector is concerned. So in this, I think this intended study will definitely help the entire shipping industry, especially this IV sector, inland vessel sector. Just to update you, the inland vessels are typically operate within the lakes, rivers, rivers, etc., sheltered waters. But there are some areas in Andaman or near the coastal region where we have small islands are there, Goa and Gulf of Kutch, Gulf of Kambat. There are a lot of activities by the inland vessels. So the inland vessels have their own restrictions with respect to construction and safety standards. So the government has come out with the Inland Vessel Act in 2021, where inland waters are divided into three different zones actually. Zone 1, Zone 2 and Zone 3. The Zone 1 is the area which has got a wave height up to 2 meters, and Zone 2 is wave height up to 1.2 meter, and Zone 3 is wave height up to 0.6 meter. So the importance of this zone is linked directly to your studies, because the construction standard of the ship differs based on the zone. If some ship has got a good thickness of steel and good scantlings, the classification society will certify that vessel to operate in zone 1. That means they can go up to wave height 2 meters. So that is the important. It affects the entire trade pattern. There is a repeated request from the industry to declare the IV limits, so which has been pending for a very long period. And now I think with this study we will be able to achieve the results so that trade can benefit. And more or less now we have requested INCOIS to populate this data onto the navigational chart which is going to be used by the mariners. The earlier data was there, but that is not populated on the navigational chart or into any user-friendly interface, which I think INCOIS will be presenting us with the user-friendly interface as well as in the navigational chart. We will partner with NHO also to facilitate this transformation, sir. So then it can be put into use immediately, and we will help basically the powers are with the state governments to notify the limit now delegated to them. So we will definitely assist the state government, and we will share the data with them so that the inland vessels can operate in this region, sir. Another thing regarding fishing, I think you are already actively involved with the fishing sectors. Just for information, even fishing vessels are under the domain of the Merchant Shipping Act actually. So entire registration, survey, certification of fishing vessels are under Merchant Shipping Act. But due to the growth of the industry, we have delegated the entire functions to the state government. But still the overall supervision and policy rests with the central government. So we will work in that direction also, so that to help the fisheries sector. A lot of deep sea vessels are being constructed now, so this study will be helpful for them. So before I conclude, I would just like to give some thoughts of importance of studying the ocean currents, because I think you have expertise, but this study is not covering that. Maybe we will come out with a subsequent request to you. So because you will know that mariners are using the so-called routing charts. They use the routing charts to make planning the passage around the Indian coast or across the world. But the data is based on 100-year-old data, which was prepared by the British hydrographic ships. So the ocean current study is so important, because nowadays we talk about energy emission control. This ocean current study is directly linked to the emission control of the shipping. Thus, those who are mariners, they will know. Like if you are coming from Calcutta to Vizag, Visakhapatnam, along the Bay of Bengal Indian coast, in the northeast monsoon, the current flows from north to south along the coast. Almost 3 knots current. So normally the ship speed is 12 knots. Average 3 knots means almost 1/4 of the speed you will get only by currents. But this current will flow only up to a certain distance from the coast. It will not flow afterwards. So this kind of detailed, whatever the Britishers have marked, that is we are following. The mariners are following it. But I think the patterns have changed. I think we will be requesting INCOIS subsequently to study that pattern of the ocean currents, so that it can be plotted on we can make a Indian routing charts. That will be my wish list. At least Indian Ocean routing charts should be prepared by the INCOIS. I think you're already going in that direction, sir. And the last point I would like to say is another important area which we need to address is the declaration of fair weather season and foul weather season. This again declared more than 50 years ago. Just for your information, in Arabian Sea there are 3 months are foul weather. There is June, July, August. The entire offshore activity comes to a standstill. Every activity stops. And last year I think they started 20 days late. And then again ends 20 days late. In the Bay of Bengal there are 7 months are foul weather from December to May. But there are a lot of variance in this. This notification was more than 50 years old. So I think with your study of forecast in collaboration with the IMU, so ideally we would like to have a dynamic season. That is what our ultimate aim. So which should be readily available. So dynamic forecasting of season so that we can the offshore industry can benefit and the trade will benefit by your study, sir. And we have a lot of hope. And I think with this first project which we have with you, and we will work together with you, and we are ready to help you whatever necessary, whatever help you need. Apologies for any delay being a bureaucratic setup. So it should have been done 2021 due to COVID. It got delayed, and means. But finally we have come. I think it is an auspicious day we are signing. So that is the positive outcome of the delay. I must say that So with these words, I must sincerely congratulate and thank the INCOIS for the support and all the stakeholders who are here and those who are trusted INCOIS. And I think INCOIS will be going in strength, and it will. There are miles to go. Thank you very much for the opportunity, sir. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir, for your excellent address and kind words. In fact, apart from this project, we will be looking into the studies on currents, and it will be also delivered. And also, as director was mentioning in the morning, this optimal ship routing system will be developed and put into service. Thank you, sir. Now, next item is the most awaited one, keynote address by the chief guest, Dr. Shailesh Nayak. Though Shailesh sir is so familiar to any Indian, being a very well-known, world-renowned personality, and doesn't need any introduction, for the sake of formality, I would like to briefly introduce him, sir. Padma Shri Dr. Shailesh Nayak is a distinguished scientist in Earth System Science. He is currently the director of National Institute of Advanced Studies, Bangalore. He has previously held several prestigious positions, including Secretary to Government of India at MOES, Chairman of Earth Commission, Interim Chairman of ISRO, and Director of INCOIS. His remarkable contribution extend to critical domains such as marine fishery advisory services, ocean state forecasting, and the Indian Argo program, strengthening India's oceanographic research and operational service capabilities. His visionary leadership has been instrumental in shaping national and international programs focused on climate change, weather forecasting, polar science, geoscience, ocean science, and modeling, ocean survey, resource exploration, and technology. He is honored a fellow of various national and international bodies. His current research interest includes building strategy for blue economy, sustainable development, and science diplomacy, which is so relevant for today's program. Sir, now I would like to request you to deliver your keynote address on science for blue economy services. Thank you.
Captain Azad, Dr. Bala, distinguished guest, and my dear colleagues from INCOIS. I'm very happy to be here today and would like to first of all greet you all for the 26th Foundation Day, and also for the service which you have been doing to the country, and which is well recognized this time by winning the Subhash Chandra Bose Award for the Disaster Management, one of the highest award. I was told that there were more than 250 applicants. From there, INCOIS has been chosen. So, to you and all colleagues to INCOIS for doing this kind of a service. Now, as we know that the ocean provides food, energy, mineral resources, also is influence weather and climate, and overall it provides an ecosystem for the human life and other biota. So basically what it means that the growth and prosperity depends on the oceans. And now we view the ocean as a natural capital which we can use to have various resources. It provides livelihood to many, fisheries, shipping, and various trade and many. And also, in a way, it's a driver for innovation. What we are discussing today, most of the thing is because of the innovation. So, since we recognize that the ocean has been very critical, the Sustainable Development Goal 14 is also identified that life under the water is very important. And this particular decade has been identified by UNESCO IOC, the decade of ocean science. That means what all the research which we do to provide various goods and services, what science is needed to improve upon these services. Last several years, we have done many economic and social research about this, and it all showed that there is a tremendous advantage which provides to human health, well-being, development, and various economic services. We are all quite familiar with the satellite-based information for the PFZ, which is essentially based on ocean color, sea surface temperature, and sea surface wind. The important thing is that how this science have been converted into a service. And now, today I was told that there is a species-specific services. HILSA is going to be declared today. There are many other things which is going to happen. And these all will available on a mobile app as well, so anybody can have a smartphone, can download. Now the important thing is that at the same time we also hear that the many areas the fish stocks are dwindling because there are changes in the primary and secondary production, and indirectly it has affected the livelihood of coastal communities. Especially if you see the sardine and mackerel is now moving towards northwards. We get a bumper crop in Maharashtra, not in Kerala, and also on Andhra and Tamil Nadu, which was before 1985, there were hardly any catch of sardine and mackerel in Maharashtra, Andhra, and Tamil Nadu. So it's moving further. So what is needed is that to have this kind of a service further, we need a understanding about the physical, biological, and chemical processes, and to develop models by which we can predict the species-specific fish stocks in a different region. Now, this is what is very important because of the change in climate. We will need this kind of an information, and also Captain Azad also mentioned most of the work which services which are short term, next 5 days, next 3 days, next 1 week. So we need, like fishery also, we will need a service which could be annual and seasonal. That what is likely stock going to be of a sardine this particular year and where. So this kind of innovations which we need, which will help us to fish within the sustainable limits. I think that is very important. Also, we need certain improvement that how can we reduce the bycatch. One thing which happened with the PFZ, that the bottom trawling has reduced and gill netting has increased, which is one way of reducing the bycatch. I think, so we need also to look for such things that how this can be further improved upon. The other area which is very important for us is the deep water fishery. Today, the total potential is roughly about 3.3 million tons. and we actually harness about 12% of that. So there is a huge scope for the deep water fishery. Now, what kind of services and how we, I leave it to INCOIS, that this is an area which we need to do. Second is the mariculture is also very important. Which are the potential areas of mariculture? So these are some of those things which needs to be considered. The many products are being generated, ocean color products, which tells us that where the phytoplankton are, where they are located, what is their distribution, and how much photosynthesis they do. That also can be computed. Now, this is very important information as far as carbon sequestration. Now, how do we convert these information into some kind of a useful information? The other is, indirectly, the concentration of phytoplankton affects the SST as well. Now, we don't assimilate ocean color data as of now. So how do we use this information in our ocean model, which has impact on the sea surface temperature? And again, sea surface temperature, as you know, has a lot of impacts on variety of those things. One very good service which INCOIS has already done based on this is the harmful algal blooms, which is very important, which is now, I think I understand it is a daily provided. But the information is now we need a warning system. The monitoring is fine. Whether we can tell 5 days before that these are the likely areas where the bloom can occur. Because we have now understood how it initiates, how it grows, and how it decays. Now, whether this information can be used to build a warning system. The other aspect is there are issues of marine litter and also microplastic pollution, etc., which is very important, and it has a tremendous impact on this. So can we also now take this information, what is the land use policy, what are the socio-economic conditions, what are the industrial structures, and can we construct a model based on which we can say that these are the areas and this likely impact it would have on the biota. It may look difficult as of today, but this was 25 years back, people were not believing PFZ as well. So I think there is always a scope to further improve these aspects. The other thing which I was very happy to see in the program about ecological services, and all the biota will depend on the health of the ecosystems, maybe coral reefs or mangroves or a seagrass. There is excellent service for the coral reef alert service, which is very important. But we also need a service that, like mangroves or a coral reef, what is that they contribute to the production of secondary production, tertiary production. That is also very important for us to understand, because many fisheries or many breeding areas especially are in mangrove regions. And today when you are doing Hilsa comes for breeding to the estuaries. Now, whether we can have some kind of an assessment that which are those areas which are very favorable for breeding. Other very good work which is being done is now we know that the carbon dioxide is being absorbed by the ocean. And the research which is done by INCOIS roughly says that it would be 0.3 to 0.4 by 2100, the increase in the pH, and it is also affected by El Nino and other ocean phenomena. I think this is very critical information which we have. Now, can we have a system or a model which can say that at a different IPCC scenarios, what is likely to be a pH of different areas? See, most of the time which we work is on the average values. Average values is all right as far as the science is concerned, but the actual action, we need a specific area, what is the difference? And that could be, those differences could be quite large. So can we have a location-specific information on how the likely change will occur in the acidification of the ocean? So this is another area which could be very important. Other which Captain Azad also very happy to see the currents, waves, and other aspect which is provided daily. It's extremely good on tides also. But he also mentioned, and I fully agree with him, whether we can now further improve upon a very specific to specific sector. Maybe shipping, coast guards, fisheries. So you have now capability to customize the basic products and all may be similar, but like he wanted on a navigational chart. Can we put those information on navigational chart? So everybody would have attuned to certain system. Like if you recall, for fisheries when we started, they were measuring not in feet or meter, but some different scale, bamboo and those kind of things. So we used to give the information in that way. There were no good compass or navigation system, so we were saying north, south, or north, southwest of this many kilometers, go there. So I think we need to integrate our information into the system in which they are familiar. And I think it's not very difficult. It is only question of how you put it, because all the computing power and the platforms which you need to do this is all available. And also I think you need to information, I don't think we need to restrict ourselves to EZ or anything. We need a global, we need Indian Ocean, we need Indo-Pacific, we need everywhere. So I don't think we need to focus I know that you have models, global models to specific port level. So all that I think we should do, and also in the time, whether you can provide seasonal, next season what is likely to happen, like what we do for a monsoon. That, okay, it may not be 100% accurate, but it could be 70-75% accurate. It should be good enough. So seasonal forecast, annual forecast, or a decadal forecast, all would be very important. Other very important thing is the sea level. We know that the average sea level is about 3.3 millimeter in the North Indian Ocean. Some different people are saying differently, but some value for the average is there. Now, this sea level also changes many things. It changes the tidal amplitude completely. It changes the way the sediment transport is happening. It changes the way in estuary the configuration changes. Now these changes are very slow. It's not like episodic changing like cyclone or a tsunami, which everybody can see, but these changes are very slow, so normally escapes our attention. I think we need to understand that what is happening. Now, some coast we are seeing it is eroding. Some coasts are not eroding, actually it's degrading. Now, if sea level is rising, and generally everybody says that the sea level rise will erode the coast. That's what normally in the textbook which we read. But what is the rate of change? More important is if the slow, very gradual level rise, instead of 3 it is 1 millimeter, coast can degrade. But instead of 3 it becomes 6, coast will degrade. So the rise alone do not have any specific property. We have to understand the rate of change and particular location where, because the shoreline configuration is also important. So what we need is something like where we have changes which are currently happening on the shoreline. We also need some hydrodynamic modeling, and then we should see what kind of a change is likely to occur where, in location specific. And I think you have a very good system like coastal forecast points with tsunami. Can we make a pilot study to say that we will give forecast as these coastal forecast points? of the changes. There could be initially some issue, but I think this is one thing which we need to do. Another important thing which you have been already doing is about vulnerability. The extremely good vulnerability atlas has been now come, uh, which provides you the overall idea that these are the vulnerable areas. Now what we need is which you have been doing all the time earlier, the validating this vulnerability atlas. Something when it happens like cyclone occurs or a tsunami or a high wave, what we had predicted and what exactly happened. Because most of the time we have seen that the first impact is in about 500 meter or so. Now this we are using a model which is projected sea level rise, projected all the other for the next 10 years. So if we can take back last 10 years and start looking at how accurate this vulnerability atlas. And then if we have sufficient accuracy, whether we can translate this into the cadastre. I think that is very important because end of the day, all activity are planned based on the cadastre. The general information is fine, which we are giving on 1:25,000, which is extremely good. But for taking action, I think we need on a cadastre. So whether it is good enough to project to at that level, that is what we should try to do. I don't want to say much about the storm surge and tsunami. I think it is proven beyond doubt, and you always have a performance that what was predicted and what happened. There are several scientific papers on it, and I think this is something which is extremely good. And the most important thing it did is that it established the India's leadership in the Indian Ocean. Today, 14th January, we had this IMD Foundation Day, and the Secretary General of IMD very clearly mentioned that India is a leader in Indian Ocean. And there is no doubt about it. Our Prime Minister also has been saying this. So this has come because of the accuracy with which we have been able to do, and not only for India, but all countries in the Indian Ocean. I think that is the most important. So our goal now should be not specific to India, but I think the whole region, as I told earlier, Indian Ocean and especially Indo-Pacific. Captain Azad also mentioned about the energy. I think, and I know that you have already produced an atlas, which is a very high resolution, 5 kilometer by 5 kilometer, what is the energy potential. Now, the first thing is the offshore wind. I think that is the first thing which is likely to happen very soon. And we need other information as well. One, as I have put, the potential is there. But you have also capability of wave currents, because if there are structures to be constructed, the substrate, currents, waves, tides, all this information you have. So which are the safer areas for doing this? Many times you may have a potential, but the other thing which is to sustain a platform or a structure may not be there. So you can further improve upon this. And this, everything is on WebGIS. I don't see any reason you can, there is only some effort required, but all the information you have. One of the most important thing which, and I'm extremely happy with that, is we started as a service provider. And the concept at that time was whatever science available in the country or anywhere, let us try to use that science and build services and products. But now INCOIS has started backward integration. There is an extremely good program on observation now. And the gliders and the Argo and drifting buoys and many, many other things. I think this is very important because end of the day, this is what we should be doing, and whether how we further improve our observation. Of course, there is a Indian Ocean expeditions are there, and they have been conducting many expeditions with the support. That will go on. But I think the time has come where we need observations which are much more frequent and routine. The one-time observations, which was the entire oceanography started with one-time ship cruises, we are seeing that these ship cruises are becoming extremely expensive, and you get an information for a very narrow region and also at different times. Now we have a platform where you can do repeatedly same transact one after the other. You have different platforms, including satellite and all, to observe the ocean in much better manner. I think this should be further improved upon. Whatever observation systems available or whatever you think are required should be made, should be developed. Like Argo completely changed our understanding about ocean. We were not knowing what happens at 2000 meter. So now we know. So I think this kind of your glider program and many others are extremely good, but I would suggest that further major boost should be given. And along with this, you also have developed quite a good models for the ocean and many other forecasting. I think that should continue. But I think as the requirement going, you will need higher and higher computing power. So you must also plan the development of a computing infrastructure and also look at what the newer technology, AI, quantum, how they are going to affect your work. I think this is a time when we should start thinking about those aspects so that we can be second to none when these things comes up. The other good thing about is that the extremely large amount of data which has been collected is organized in a very good manner, which you call as Ocean Data and Information System. And this is actually the main information and data on which all the services are dependent. And this is organized pretty well. I think this has to be further improved into a system where we can get information, customized information as any specific industry needs. And also, not only the current information, but also some now information about the past, last 30, 40, 50 years. And I know you have a capability to generate all that information. Captain Azad also mentioned that, okay, if what is the likely current during Northeast, which are the areas which are high wave all the time. So this, I think, is very important, and you have all the information, which is very important. Lastly, all this thing has led to development of operational oceanography in the country. Not only the country, but in the world, INCOIS have shown the way how the information can be made use of. There are very few countries where such services are available, right from fishermen to the shipping, to the security agencies, to research. I mean, your stakeholders are quite large. Now, the last thing is that as you have been developing this, by 2030, it is expected that the impact of climate change would be much more visible. And so we need what we can do to develop climate services. And I know that INCOIS is very actively working on this, and this is one of the important aspects in the deep ocean mission. But I think this is going to be very important, and not only the scientific, the climate services, because when we talk about climate services, you also need other environmental data, you also need social data, and you also need economic data. How you are going to bring this different kinds of data sets about the ocean environment, about the social aspects, and the economic aspects. I think this is going to be very important. But you should start thinking about this, that integration of different data sets. And I think it is, INCOIS has a capability to undertake this study. Lastly, of course, the stakeholder meeting, and I know that there is a very effective mechanism now to communicate routinely with all the stakeholders. And why you mentioned that we don't have problem of a budget. That is essentially because your interaction with the stakeholders, which also different government department, they also talk that this information is coming from INCOIS. So I think this interaction is extremely good, and it should continue, and every year formally, otherwise informally, you should continue to do this. Now, the investment which we have seen in last couple of decades in ocean research is very important, which allowed us to discover new phenomena, to improve our understanding of different processes, its interaction with the anthropogenic activities. Also, we were able to generate certain knowledge based on which we have developed these services. So basically what is happening is that we need to continue to have the stewardship of the ocean, because that is an investment which we are making today, but the dividends will come also in the future. And I think our commitment to the different stakeholders, commitment to the country, that how best science can be used for developing services should continue. My very best to you, and thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, sir, for your invaluable address and motivation to do more in serving the society. And also, we are so encouraged to hear from you to continue our service to the nation. By this, this is end of our inaugural session. Now, I would like to request you all to join for high tea arranged outside. And the next session would be started by 10:55, because we are a little bit behind the schedule. Thank you very much.
Deva sir. Devendra sir. What the PPT of the? Sir, PPT meeting. Next time only. Next PPT meeting. Open చేయనా తర్వాత చేద్దాం.
No, Tarot. Yeah. Before, when we have some introduction session, that time. You will be here, no?
Yeah, I'm here,
No.
sir also here. Sir, you know.
Somewhere I have seen. Box we have to remove actually. Why?
Which box? No, that is with water, no? No, now it kept now already. For you.
सिग्नल सर अभी फाइनली क्या डिसाइड हुआ है इन्वोकेशन के बाद लाइट लैंप की लाइट लैंप के बाद इन्वोकेशन
इन्वोकेशन पहले
एक्चुअल में होता बाद में है
कैसे बाद में होता है
हाँ लाइटिंग के
वैसे
बाद
करेंगे
होता है वैसे
वैसे
करेंगे
करेंगे वो सतीश कहाँ पे है
मैं ढूंढ
वो तो शाम को है ना नो यू जस्ट कीप इट वो तो बाद में रख which one are for me don't throw that bottle out
The way we are doing.
don't you cannot trust चलो चाय पी के इसको ना ऐसे ही रहने देते हैं otherwise if you move this again or we should push it here
This one we Welcome back. Now we have two talks and feedback from the end users. The session will start now. I would like to request Dr. Kamal Lochan Mishra, IAS Executive Director, OSDMA, to please come over the dais and occupy your seat, sir. I also request Sri Pattabhi Ramarao, Group Director INCOIS, to please come over the dais and occupy your seat. I would like to request Dr. T.M. Balakrishnan Nair, Director INCOIS, to welcome Dr. Kamal Lochan Mishra, IAS Executive Director, OSDMA, by presenting a bouquet. Dr. Kamal Lochan Mishra, IAS, is having professional experience more than 2 decades on disaster management across its implementation, technical support, program management and planning, policy, advocacy, research, monitoring and evaluation-based roles with on-field experience and having extensive experience in grassroots-based direct program implementation to manage country-level program for Odisha, support by UN agencies, NDMA and Government of India. He has worked in various roles in OSDMA, which was established after Super Cyclone 1999 before enactment of DM Act, which is very relevant to us. He played a crucial role in shaping the OSDMA into vibrant, dynamic and innovative organization which received a number of prestigious national and international awards, including those of the United Nations and the PM Annual Awards for outstanding work in disaster response, recovery and management. He headed Government of India UNDP project on disaster risk reduction, climate risk management in urban areas, climate change adaptation along with emergency response and preparedness programs under SDRF and NDMA. He has a strong technical background in institutional capacity building of state government, district administration, local government authorities for disaster management in line with global agreements. Also, he has rich experience in training, design, facilitation on mainstreaming DRR and CCA CBDRR, curriculum development, hazard-specific risk mitigation and development, SDMP, DDMP, and departmental plan. A publication on failure management in Odisha, which is a notable one out of his publications. Now, I would like to request Dr. Kamal Lochan Mishra to chair this session. Floor is yours, sir, please.
A very warm welcome to this second session, which is the technical session of nature. The session is designed like this. We have two intellectual presentations, one by Sri Patavi Ramarao, Group Director INCOIS, on updates on multi-hazard and ecosystem services. Another is by Dr. R. Harikumar, Scientist INCOIS, on value-added, user-customized and commercial products and services. After these two presentations, we will be opening for discussion and we will take the feedbacks, and my job will be to moderate and to sum up the things. Before going ahead with the discussion, I just want to extend my wholehearted thanks to INCOIS, the director, and the team for attaining 26 years of service to the nation. INCOIS has established itself not as a knowledge institution alone. They are the only national level organization who have extended their hand of cooperation to field level services like preparing the community to be tsunami ready. With their help, Odisha has developed 26 communities or villages as tsunami ready by IOC UNESCO recognition team. So I urge the Government of India organizations who are operating at the national level to extend their services to the field functionaries, engage with the state government and district administrations to bring the knowledge available with them in the campuses to the application for the people. So I now request Mr. Patavi to please make his presentation.
Thank you, Chair. I have been asked to make a presentation on updates on multi-hazard and ecosystem services that are being provided by INCOIS. So I would like to briefly touch upon the recent developments in terms of like ocean information and advisory services that are being provided by INCOIS. As you all know that we are celebrating 26th Foundation Day today, so we have completed successfully providing the services to the nation. So we have started our services now with we have a vision to be the knowledge and information and technology enterprise for the oceanic realm. And we were given a mandate to provide best possible ocean information and advisory services to different stakeholders that are, the stakeholders are here. And where we provide these services through sustained ocean observations. We need the services, observations to provide these services. At the same time, we are focusing our research on how we take these observations to improve our services. So this is the mandate given to us, and you can see that INCOIS has been providing ecosystem services and multi-hazard early warning services. To start with, INCOIS started providing potential fishing zone advisory services using the remote sensing data. That was a flagship program when we started INCOIS in 1999, but then we have started providing these services from 2001 onwards. And then we have ventured into providing other services of ecosystem services like monitoring the health of coral reefs and also providing harmful algal bloom information and advisory services like the chief guest in the morning has mentioned about these ecosystem services. And also we have been providing the ocean state forecast again since its inception, where we use suite of ocean models to generate daily products. There are about approximately 50 routine products on ocean state where we generate using different models and then provide this information on waves, currents, winds, sea surface temperature, thermocline, mixed layer depth, etc. So there are regular products that we provide on daily basis for the next 5 days. The forecast is valid for 3 to 5 days. And also now we have categorized our services into multi-hazard early warning services. Now after 2004 tsunami, India has established Indian Tsunami Early Warning System, where we have worked with many of the national agencies, and within a record time we have set up the Indian Tsunami Early Warning System, and Indian Tsunami Early Warning Center is hosted at INCOIS. So in addition to that one, we are also providing the storm surge early warning services. The mandate of IMD is to provide the cyclone forecasting, and we take the inputs from the IMD on cyclone intensity track, etc., and then we run our storm surge model and then provide storm surge early warning services, where we provide the areas of extent of inundation when cyclone is going to have the landfall. So this information goes as a joint bulletin by IMD and INCOIS, and then we have started providing recently the high wave alerts, and also we are providing the search and rescue related services. And we also have several coastal geospatial services. Again, Chief Guest has mentioned in the morning, the Coastal Vulnerability Atlas has been developed. Multi-hazard early warning vulnerability mapping is also done. We have also developed 3D GIS for highly vulnerable areas, where we can also provide coastal inundation in real time that happens due to the storm surge or tsunami or any other high wave related activities. And INCOIS has been the National Oceanographic Data Center, and we are the central repository for the data related to oceanography, and we provide data services to the academia and research, and also majority of the data is being used for consultancy services. And also we have been working on various R&D efforts contribute to the weather and climate forecasting or research. And also we have set up International Training Center for Operational Oceanography, because in the last 25 years, INCOIS has become a leader in the operational oceanography, particularly in the Indian Ocean region. So recognizing the capabilities of INCOIS, IOC UNESCO has identified or designated INCOIS as the International Training Center for Operational Oceanography as a Category 2 center. We have only 2 Category 2 centers globally providing these services, and we are proud to host International Training Center for Operational Oceanography at INCOIS. And we have already conducted about 124 courses where we have 6,000 participants from about 95 countries, where we have trained them in various operational ocean information and advisory services. So to provide these services, we have teams working on the ocean science modeling, and also we have a national framework for observations, both in situ as well as remote sensing. I'm not going to read out all these observing system, but there is a well-established and sustained ocean observing system in place. Again, in the ocean observations area, India is playing a lead role in the Indian Ocean region. And we also closely work with international programs of observation, modeling, as well as the capacity building. And on the right side, you can see the stakeholders. I need not read. So you are all the stakeholders, and your inputs are very critical in improving our services year by year, where we are taking the feedback in such stakeholders meeting. So I would like to just brief the recent developments and the updates. First, I'll briefly explain about the recent developments in the multi-hazard early warning services. So Indian Tsunami Early Warning Center has been monitoring the earthquakes that are happening in the Indian Ocean region as well as the global ocean. And we have been providing tsunami advisories. In the last 2 years, we have monitored about 53 earthquakes of magnitude more than 6.5, and we have been providing these tsunami bulletins to India as well as a tsunami service provider for the Indian Ocean rim countries. Again, this is designated by IOC UNESCO. We have been providing these tsunami bulletins to 25 countries in the Indian Ocean rim. So these are the 53 incidents were successfully monitored, and 2 of them has a potential to generate tsunami, and we have provided the timely and accurate tsunami information to India as well as other countries in the Indian Ocean region. So coming to the mock drills and exercises, we have been working with the National Disaster Management Agency as well as the state disaster management agencies. In 2022, we have conducted a mock exercise with OSDMA, And also in 23, we have conducted a national level exercise in 2023 with NDMA. So alternative years, we also conduct the regional wave exercises. It is called Indian Ocean Wave Exercise. That is coordinated by UNESCO IOC, by Indian Ocean Tsunami Warning and Mitigation System. So where India has been actively participating in this wave exercises. And this exercise we have conducted on 2 days, 4th October for the east coast of India and 11th October for the west coast of India. So about 44 coastal villages from 13 districts on the both sides of the both coastal regions participated in this exercise. Again, OSDMA always has been implementing this wave exercises and actively participating. And big number of evacuations takes place from OSDMA, and now other coastal states are following these exercises and they are participating in these exercises. So other important thing is like, because there are some recent incidents like, and we have challenges. So however advanced your early warning systems or early warning centers on the upstream, unless you make the community as part of your early warning chains, we cannot succeed in addressing these tsunami events. And there were some events in the past like Palu tsunami event as well as Krakatoa volcanic eruptions. These are called non-seismic tsunamis. We don't get observations, but they generate the tsunamis and then they inundate the coastal areas. So these are two challenges. That's why now we want to make the communities as part of this early warning chain, and IOC UNESCO has come up with a program called Tsunami Ready Program Implementation. Tsunami Ready Recognition Program Implementation. And within the country, INCOIS is the nodal agency to implement this Tsunami Ready Recognition Program jointly with the state disaster management agencies. So we have been providing the technical expertise that is required for the communities to become tsunami ready. Because if the community want to become a tsunami ready, they need to meet, there are about 12 indicators. That community should have hazard zonation maps, inundation maps, they should have standard operating procedure in place, they should have signage boards, they should have awareness programs and all. So whatever technical expertise is required that INCOIS has been providing, and then coastal states are implementing. And we have been working with OSDMA, again, Dr. Kamalochan Mishra is here, and they are always in the front runner to adopt any new technologies or new initiatives. And in 2019, they have implemented this program and pilot phase for 6 villages, and 2 have been designated as tsunami ready in 19 itself. But again, in 2024, they have taken up, and 24 villages in Orissa from our 6 coastal districts have been designated as tsunami ready. First, initially, they were recognized at the national level, and then we have submitted to the UNESCO IOC for recognition. And altogether, 24 new villages and 2 old villages have been recognized as a tsunami ready communities which have been designated. And I have the privilege to receive these certificates at the 2nd Global UNESCO IOC Symposium. And these certificates were distributed during the 20 years of Tsunami Commemoration Day at INCOIS last month. And now we are working with other coastal states like Andaman Nicobar Islands, the Kerala, and also Gujarat. Now they have come forward, they have identified few villages for implementation of the Tsunami Ready program. This is going to be a very important initiative where Tsunami Early Warning Center is working with the state disaster management authorities, as well as we have always been backed up by National Disaster Management Agency to implement such programs. So this is a recognition. It's like historical places are being identified as heritage sites, like that. It doesn't mean that communities got something, but they know that in the event of tsunami, even if there is a slight delay in the early warning, what they should do. So they are ready to face the tsunami. That's what the recognition shows. And in addition to that one, now we have also added 2 more products in the last 1 year. Now we have been working with NAV area coordinators. We have launched a new product called NAV area products for tsunami. The people who are in the high seas, the ships and all. So for the regions like 7, 8, 9, and 10, and 11. These are the NAV areas that have been marked here. So any ships flying in those areas, they will get this tsunami information when they are in the high seas. And as I mentioned, we have these challenges with regard to non-seismic tsunamis. So there are no SOPs in the past. If there is an earthquake triggered by a volcanic eruption or landslide in the ocean, what we should do? We do not have the observing system and all. But now, if there is a volcanic eruption, no, there are some techniques to identify these things, and we have been working with volcanic advisory centers, and we have developed a standard operating procedure, which has been launched during the 20th years of commemoration day last month. These are the 2 new products which INCOIS has launched in the last 1 year. And also we have been working with National Disaster Management Agency, where they have come up with the common alert protocol, where they would like to provide these early warning services related to all hazards. And they have identified nodal agencies for different hazards. When it comes to tsunami, it is INCOIS. For cyclones, it is IMD. For landslides, Geological Survey of India. Like that, there are nodal agencies. But we need to harmonize these early warnings that should fit into the common alert protocol. So we have harmonized all our early warning services, particularly the tsunami, storm surge, high wave alerts into warning, alert, watch, and no threat, as per the guidelines that are defined by National Disaster Management Agency. And now we have been providing these services through NDMA Sachet platform. All this information is going. And you see during the cyclone Biparjoy, there are about 5.62 crore messages were sent to the people who are in the inundated, the area that is being identified as the extent of inundation. This information is going like that. So we have been working with NDMA to provide. These are again, chief guest in the morning mentioned that location-based services. So that's what this information goes to the people who are in the affected areas. Only those people will get. So that has been operationalized and it is going. So now this information is also available at district level. That's what in the morning they mentioned, like coastal forecast points. At the district level, we have been providing all these services. And most important thing is that INCOIS has been designated as the regional specialized meteorological center by World Meteorological Organization. There is no such oceanographic institution called as a specialized meteorological center. By looking into our capabilities and the services and the products that are being provided by INCOIS, WMO designated INCOIS as the regional specialized meteorological center for numerical ocean prediction, numerical wave prediction, and now we are going for the next service. So this is another major milestone that we have achieved in the last 2 years. So INCOIS also started another service called Marine Heat Advisory Services. Now you heard about land-based marine heat waves during the summer. But there are heat waves in the Indian Ocean which can have impact on the ecology of the ocean. So, and recent research shows that Indian Ocean is always under marine heat wave condition. So that is the new research tells. Now INCOIS started a new service called Marine Heat Waves that should help us in what is the impact of heat waves on the other ecosystem services. Other thing, ocean state forecast, storm surge early warnings, we have been monitoring and we have been providing the early warning services. These are a list of cyclones where we have provided storm surge early warning services and issued a joint bulletin along with IMD. And I don't want to read the names, but now these services also are available on our website. Now another thing called swell surge. Now probably the stakeholders on the west coast and from Tamil Nadu also, they experience everything seems to be fine, weather seems to be fine, but some of the coastal areas get inundated. So we don't know what is the reason, but these are the swell waves that are generated in the Southern Ocean, and they travel all the way to Indian coast and hit the Indian coast. So now INCOIS has developed these swell surge early warnings, where we are providing these swell surge early warnings, and there was an event on 4th and 5th May last year, as well as 15th and 16th October, where INCOIS has provided these advanced forecasts in 5 days in advance. And then these are the areas where things have, sorry. So some of the areas that are inundated, and these are exactly matching with our forecast that INCOIS has been providing. And also it matches with the model output also well matches with the observations that now we take from the wave rider bay. So you can see that now there is a wave rider bay of Kozhikode and Kanyakumari and all. So we always validate. You can also validate our model results with the observations in real time, live. It is available on our website. And these are the, again, new service which INCOIS has started and providing when there are such events. And this has been very well taken by the media, and they have been providing these services to the communities along the coast. And another thing we would like to now get into the water quality services now, mainly to develop these blue economy sectors like the coastal tourism, and also we would like to monitor the coastal waters, the pollution, etc. So we have set up a buoy fitted with physical biogeochemical sensors. Now it is a heavily instrumented buoy where it continuously monitors this water quality along two stations, one on the east coast at Vizag and other one at Kochi. We have deployed, and then we started providing the water quality nowcasting system on various physical biogeochemical parameters. So this we would like to now expand it to the east coast and west coast by adding additional 4, 2 on each side. So that will be now, we will be continuously monitoring, and this will significantly contribute to the blue economy initiatives what we have are dealing with today. And also we are working with MSSRF now, where we have developed a fish mobile app mainly to get the details on the fish catch and other feedback mechanism. And also we can have these geotagged pictures can be shared with INCOIS through this app. So other important thing, again, when it comes to the ICT, we have developed a Samudra app. I think many of you are familiar with it and using it. It's called Smart Access to the Marine Users for Ocean Data, Resources and Advisories. So whatever the services that are being provided by INCOIS are now made available through INCOIS. Now it is a very innovative application where we can get all this information on marine GIS platform. So if you do not have, the app is available on both the Google Play as well as the App Store. So that is on the services side, but to improve these services, we also have updates on observations as well as ICT infrastructure. And we have sustained these observations. Now earlier we were getting these observations from the North Indian Ocean. Now in the last 2 years, now we've expanded our observational to the Southern Ocean. And now this month, we are going to have our first observations using the glider in Antarctica, because these Antarctica waters have significant influence on the physical and biogeochemical process of the ocean. So now we have expanded up to Southern Ocean, and this month we are going to extend it to Antarctic region. So we have been sustaining this network and coming up with new observational systems like gliders, sail drones, etc. And at the same time, we have now set up a synergistic ocean observation and prediction services lab. Earlier, many of you might have visited Tsunami Early Warning Center, Ocean State Focus, different labs. Now we want to we would like to have an integrated control center where all the services are integrated and monitoring, right from the observations, the modeling, the services that are being disseminated from INCOIS. So that has been set up. I request you all to visit when sessions are over. It's the most advanced system. You won't find anywhere in the world such a system. And another important thing, now we would like to get into the artificial intelligence and machine learning techniques to improve our services. Where now we need a high performance computing facility, where we have set up this high performance computing facility, and it was launched. We are going to make it operational soon, within a week or so. So where we have now upgraded our computing power to 1 teraflops of CPU, and then we have about 15 teraflops of GPU computing that we can now use the AI ML techniques in improving our services. Now it also has got the sufficient storage. At the same time, we have also upgraded our ground stations to receive the satellite data from the latest satellites. I forgot to mention one service which I just missed. It was mentioned in the morning on the ocean energy. Probably Chief Guest has mentioned, but again, INCOIS in the last year, we have released Integrated Ocean Energy Atlas. Over, sir, last slide. So Integrated Ocean Energy Atlas, where INCOIS has worked on the potential energy areas like waves, currents, tides, solar, winds, etc. So that I think Atlas is, maybe Hari may be covering that. No, I missed that. So now our vision, now we have been hearing, the strength is like the feedback from the stakeholders is very important when we are improving our services. Now, right from beginning, the major thing is the requirement of the stakeholder. We cannot do on our own whatever we want, but again, we would like to get the feedback, and that should convert it into the services. So now we have been doing, but now we have worked our vision document 2047, that is Prime Minister's vision for the Amrit Kal, where we would like to now change our vision of our last 25 years. Now we would like to become a global center of excellence in our operational oceanography. Earlier it was a knowledge and information technology enterprise for the oceanic realm, but now we'd like to convert as a global center of excellence in our operational oceanography. And our mandate also, we would like to extend it to include the blue economy. Blue economy, because now blue economy says that no, there is a great potential to increase the GDP with regard to blue economy sectors. Now can double it by 2047, where INCOIS has come up with our vision document for 2047, where we have the short-term goals as well as the long-term goals. I'm not talking about the short-term goals, but long-term goals, we would like to continue these services and provide timely, accurate, actionable. We should not give any false alarm. It should be very focused. Again, as Chief Guest mentioned in the morning, it should be very focused to the local location-based services, taking into consideration of the requirements of the stakeholders as well as the policymakers. That services we would like to improve. And when you improve the services, we would also parallelly develop the infrastructure. We want to open up service centers for operational oceanography in all coastal states. We have already started with working with two centers in the East Coast and West Coast. We would like to expand it. And also we would like to come up with an international oceanographic research platform. Like you might have heard about the International Space Station, where many of these countries go and contribute to that one. So we would like to create such a platform where the global community can come and do their observations in addition to what we are doing. We are closely working with the global community. And also, we would like to now get this fit for purpose ocean observing system. It should be smart, it should be IoT enabled, that kind of things. And also, we would like to have the microsatellites launched exclusively for our services. That is another thing. And also now we are talking about the digital twin of the Earth. So we are going to come up with a National Earth System Science Data Assembly Center. This is a short-term goal. And in future, we would like to get into the development of digital twin of the Earth system. Initially, we plan for ocean digital twin. Then ministry centers are working on the other atmosphere and ocean. Now we want to integrate everything together under the Ministry of Earth Sciences and come up with a digital twin of the Earth system. And also we would like to come up with a indigenized model, like Bharat model for ocean, where at present we are using the models that are being developed by other countries, but we have been customizing it for the Indian Ocean. But now we would like to come up with a Bharat model, and then it should become like a target for the international researchers, and they should come and work at INCOIS. Now, most of the Indians, they go US, they go Australia and work there, but now we want to create such a facility that international scientific community come and work with us. So that is our goal. I think that's all, sir, from my side.
Thank you. Profound thanks to Dr. Patavi. I think we'll have the second presentation, then we'll take queries and questions. So I request Dr. Hari Kumar to please. Sir, I think you could finish in 10, 12 minutes. 8 minutes. I'll be more than thankful to you. Because
I don't want to make them borrow.
Actually, professionals, they don't make bore. We know what you are doing.
Good morning, everyone. Mr. Patabi was talking about the entire services which are general in nature and which are specific to various category of users. I would like to more delve on in this presentation on value-added, user-customized and commercial products and services. As we all know, Sustainable Development Goal is a hot topic, and that too by UN. It is imposed to every organization. It should be followed. And at the same time, SDG 14 is so relevant to us, which says about life underwater. And all our activities are pertaining to that. And at the same time, it is always urged to have utilize the ocean, but protect, conserve, and sustainably develop. And when we do that, there should be a lot of things we should take care. Now, what is the connection between this blue economy and what we do here? In fact, the complete ocean data, information, forecast, and all-round services, which will be adding a lot of value to such blue economy. And the blue economy definition itself is saying, as I mentioned already, the sustainable use of ocean resources, economic growth, improved livelihoods and jobs while preserving the health of the ocean and ecosystem. In that way, we would be able to really serve, and I'll be just dwelling on all those aspects. Now, we have been serving in that aspect for almost a decade, and the requirements were like this. And I should say at the outset, there are programs like, Ministry of Port Waterways, the Sagarmala, then a lot of exploration in the ocean in terms of oil exploration by various oil companies like ONGC and all. And all these agencies are asking us for a lot of services and products and consultancy projects to be delivered. And what they need is basically, as Sir was mentioned, our special guest in today morning was mentioning about the complete picture based on the climatology. That is one aspect. And that is basically past data on ocean condition. And why they need it? It is basically for establishing the structures near the coast or platforms in the ocean, they need it. And at the same time, some information would be needed in the case of loss due to the, these kind of calamities, and that will be used by the insurance companies for giving the claims. And the next aspect is operationally daily ocean state forecast and other information, which would be used for planning their upcoming operation for the coming days. And some of the agencies are in need of both climatological as well as forecasting. For example, we are having a current project to Mercer's Vishwa Samudra. They needed past information as well as we are serving the forecast for the coming days for Mullappad region, which is a port under construction. And this is the way we work here, and all these aspects are covered by Sir. And these are various kind of models or numerical models which we use. And observations are very good in terms of the reference for the actual nature, what is happening. But at the same time, we cannot, there will be a lot of gaps, and there will be a lot of temporal as well as spatial gaps, but we can overcome such things using numerical models. So that is the reason we are having major two kinds of models, which are wave or wind wave models, and also general circulation models. These are the models we use here. And these are the observational hold we are having in the Indian Ocean in collaboration with various agencies. And these are the general products which are used and reported to be used by the industries as well. And they are high wave alerts and swell surge alerts, and also current alerts. And we are having forecast along ship routes that is also being used by the agencies, and bulletins are there for ship routes, and search and rescue tool, oil spill trajectory prediction system. Coast Guard is right here and Indian Navy is right here. They exclusively use it. And now coming to the major topic of these industries, and I am saying quickly how do they use and what the future prospect they need actually. Here you can see that in terms of ONGC, if I say, we have done a project for them for the construction of their platforms as well as the coastal structures based on the characteristics of waves, winds and currents with return period analysis. That was the major requirement they needed. And also they have been taking us for 5 years the ocean state forecasts for planning their upcoming days of operations. And now coming to, I would like to say that today our special guest, Captain Asad, was saying about the MOU what we are inking today. And wherein some states, for some states we have done such studies, but that was very minimal in nature, and we have been giving inland vessel limits. So today I was expecting Captain Shasta here, but he couldn't make it out. But he has given a feedback already that the inland vessel, what you were mentioning, sir, which are plying through the ocean, nearby ocean, could make a turn of the revenue generation of too much. If they do that through the IVL pathways rather than roads from Andhra Pradesh to Chennai. And it turns to be crores of rupees if they do that. And they have taken this service from us. And these are the typical maps on this IVL. Sir was mentioning about 0.6, 1.2 and 2 meter waves. This is a typical example for all that. And the simulations, how good it is explained here. And you can see that. To be very frank, the simulation of waves are relatively very accurate compared to currents, in fact. And you can see that, again, this classification have been already done for Andhra Pradesh region, and these zones of IVL 1, 2, 3 had been given in the form of tables and GUI. And this is a typical example of one web page we have developed for Andhra Pradesh Maritime Board and supplied, wherein the dynamic inland vessel limits are supplied. And this is the one exactly needed for the entire coastline of India, as well as the Union Territory islands of India by DG Shipping now. And these are the gazetting they do based on our study. You can see the right side what we have studied and supplied to them, and it is gazetted in the fair foul weather demarcation by the agencies. And coming to certain other companies like, Afcons, Mercer's Afcons, they have been using our services for 2018 for various locations wherein we do serve the forecasts and hindcasts on waves, wind and currents. And this is, we have done, we are privileged to say that DG Versha, we have Indian Navy's prestigious and confidential program. We have supported with a study wherein the climatological wave, current and wind patterns were given with return period analysis, and they have constructed already the port, but it is confidential. Yeah. And this is the one Mr. Patabi was mentioning. Actually, this is all about, we have been doing a lot of offshore wind farm related advisory services for a couple of years, but now we have come up with a integrated energy atlas, wherein you can see that the left side is marine meteorological energy, which the category comes for solar and wind, and right side what you see is all other marine hydrological energy, aspects like wave currents, tide, salinity gradient, thermal gradient based energies. And we have done a complete study on EEZ, and we have been making it as an atlas, and it is already in public. And the starting of this such study for energy was started with a request from ONGC for the western offshore field to have a offshore wind farm advisory services for them, and we have assessed and given. These are some typical maps, and you can see that in the coast of Tamil Nadu and coast of Gujarat, there are actually a lot of potential available. Over the year, if you see during the monsoon time on the west coast of India, there are enough potential, and in the field of ONGC West Coast itself, we have identified the zones, and they have erected, as they report, some wind farm there, like one windmill, and already tapped some energy. And these are some examples on wind power density maps, and these are some study we exclusively done on the reports. And now the running projects are as already we have initiated the DG shipping project on inland vessel limits and other studies, and which will be of course reported to the large navigational chart when you provide it, and we will be delivering it in another 1 year actually. And the study is started. And another one is for Adani Vizhinjam Port. We are doing a study wherein they need observation of wave. We have deployed one buoy for them, and also we are advising them on the ocean state, and that is already for 18 months it's on the way, and it is for another 1.5 years it is already signed. And we are, as I mentioned already, Vishwa Samudra, which is a Hyderabad-based company, but they are constructing the port at Mullapad in Andhra coast, and they are taking our service for these kind of operations. And we are having a lot of collaboration with the DG hydrocarbon as well, and some discussions are going on wherein the safety in the ocean to be ensured by them. And we do trainings also for DG hydrocarbon and also Nuclear Power Corporation of India Limited in the same aspects, and that is already done. And if you see, we are having a lot of requests from neighboring countries through national programs, wherein we have done an exclusive, detailed project plan by visiting there and discussing with them, and it is underway. Now Bangladesh is in a different condition. And we are having a lot of connect to industry meets, wherein we take feedbacks and improve our services, products, and forecasts. And in short, I would like to say that actually blue economy is really a major hope. And in terms of job generation and resource utilization from the ocean, and as we all know, when it comes from ocean, we call it as blue. And that is very important. And as I mentioned in the beginning, SDG 14 is to be always adhered to. But at the same time, we should make maximum profit from this kind of resources which are available in the ocean. And any studies what we do in connection with this are so useful for the industries. As our special guest in the morning was mentioning about, the need what they have is tremendous, and they will be coming back to us for such aspects. And as I mentioned already, the inland vessel limits which has been supplied to the AP has made a lot of revenue generation in terms of when they transported the materials through inland regions rather than roads. And also ONGC has already given a feedback that because of our forecasts, which are helping them to plan for the coming 4 or 5 days, their logistic movement and other aspects, they are even having a profit of 2 crores per well, one well, and which is already given in paper. And these all are our motivation to do more for industries. And moreover, in our mission of INCOIS, the major one component is serving the industry as well, along with all our other stakeholders. And with that, I would like to conclude, sir.
Thank you. Please take a seat, Dr. Harikumar. So, two most wonderful presentations containing a lot of data, a lot of information. It's always a privilege to hear from the real scientists who are actually working day and night. Now, before I sum up the gist, I invite queries and any questions to the scientists or presenters here. Any queries, questions, suggestions? I think both the speakers have saturated your mind. There is no, either their presentation has saturated you or it has gone overboard. I hope the earlier one is correct. But if the scientist words go overboard, then that is not very interesting to know. Yeah, please.
I think you will be briefing in the evening.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, that was actually out of curiosity in my mind, but I think it will be answered in the evening. Yeah. So this is their presentation is saturated, but had a small piece of curiosity in it, that's all. Thank you.
Yeah, please.
I have a question. This is somewhat related to the nautical advisor also. You're making a wave study, and it is now, they're going to use this information to address mostly the barges transportation for transporting goods, the coastal waters. But the Coast Guard experience, you find a lot of fishing boats, poorly constructed, having low freeboard. Anybody has any type of flotation device, they go into the ocean, deep into the ocean also. And it's the Coast Guard, they seek to for a lot of answers, especially for search and rescue. By the time we reach there also, either the boat is sunk or the man is overboard. Nowadays, it's sad to say the fisherman also is a non-swimmer also. So they take any labor who are available, then take them into sea. As such, they don't have any toilet facility. They have to go to the edge of the boat to do anything, and they fall overboard. And as such, they don't know swimming, and this chap can't leave the boat to go and to throw anything to save that. So a lot of problems are there. So I think nautical advisor also to take note of this, because I don't think so he has much control, because he already delegated to the state fishing authorities to also see the construction standards of the fishing boats. If that is also addressed, and likewise you give that height of waves zonation also, in their Marine Fisheries Act, they can say this boat, especially Vallams with the outboard motors, can't go besides certain limits. And if they promulgate and give power to the Coast Guard also, at least we can say, please go back. So that can be noted by authorities concerned like that.
Yeah, shall I respond quickly to that, sir, actually? There are two aspects with my experience of 16 years in INCOIS. One is whatever study we do and user customized products based on the request by ship and IVL related aspect, and at the same time, very small boats which are of different kinds. Artisanal fishers use different one, motorized ones are there. So now the point is, really the studies could be done and pass on to the authorities, etc. But at the same time, the users should obey also for that. And there are lot of, as per my knowledge, there are lot of unregistered, boats in that way. And all those things, aspects should be in a synergized way by, any agency, which is either disaster management or national agencies to control it, or state authorities, sir. So one simple example I'll quickly tell again. We have supply and discussion of this Gagan instrument, Gemini we say, and at the same time, it has been asked the Kerala government to give us the details of the fisher folks who are registered under you. So they have made an app for that. And at the same time, as per their experience, only 5% were registered to that app, though there were benefits are earmarked. So that is the way we are heading. So I hope there will be efforts to do that regulations in the near future.
Yeah. Actually, just I wanted to respond. Since the state governments are now actually in the regulatory role for this, there is one organization in Odisha called State Port Organization, which is a very rudimentary, very lean organization to monitor these things. Whatever you gentlemen are telling is correct. Though we have the responsibility, certain regulatory aspects are getting not translated into action in the field. But whatever we are doing, that is to be replicated, to be expanded and enhanced. Though for disaster management purposes, we are compelling the boat owners to, those who are actually into ferrying the people, to have sufficient number of life vest and life jackets. But again, the expiry date of those things are to be monitored, and we require a very wide force to ensure that they adhere to the regulatory framework. So your suggestion is well taken. I think DG Shipping is also listening to our discussion. My submission is that if DG Shipping at the national level could issue some guideline, because I know in state governments, anything comes from the national government that is taken seriously, more seriously than what we generally do. So that will strengthen the hands and the policy making framework of the state governments and district administration. It is ultimately the collector who will ensure the compliance. So that will be carried out. So my point, your suggestion is well taken. We need to do something because sometimes things go wrong. Anyway, anyone else? Yeah, please.
As part of the blue economy development, the government of India, they have come up with several alternative livelihood options for the coastal communities, like cage fish farming, seaweed farming across the coast of India. So is there any plan from INCOIS to give the customized services for these fishes, because they are facing some challenges while they operating the cages on the coast, especially in the near coast. So the same way for this seaweed culture farmers. So if it is there, it will be good services from INCOIS side for these people.
So Harikumar, I think you.
Yeah, seaweed cages, right?
Cage fish farming and seaweed.
Yeah, basically we had a earlier collaboration with NIOT to give the current and wave climatological values for some region. But as I understand now, there are many locations the same type of cages are there. If we get the location, basically what are the determining factors are currents, waves and swells also sometime. So we would be able to do that in a user customized fashion and reach them. Yeah.
You're asking about the design aspects or the environmental parameters?
Environmental parameters.
Okay. Yeah,
yeah.
Yes. Otherwise, design aspects also, when we provide this information, now NIOT is trying to improve the cases that they have developed.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, mainly sea current, near shore sea current, and wave actions. These are the two, and wind also some. So all these three parameters are important for this. Yes.
Actually, there is a session on HILSA, forecasting. I think these questions could be better dealt by the intellectuals there. Any other queries from our present audience? Yeah, madam, please.
Thank you so much, sir. A great presentation. I'm from the Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure. We have a program on resilient island states. It looks at all all regions, Pacific, Caribbean. So I understand INCOIS is focusing on Indo-Pacific and Indian Ocean. But what about the Pacific islands or, the Caribbean? Has there been any kind of, what are the opportunities for collaborating? Has there been any outreach from either side to kind of, collaborate on capacity building or information exchange, knowledge exchange, or even the data itself that you're kind of, producing? Thanks.
As far as capacity building is concerned, again, as I said in my presentation, we have emerged as a leader in the operational oceanography. I think few years back when Prime Minister visited, the Honorable Prime Minister visited Pacific Island countries, there was an action item that we should provide training. Of course, there are several action items, but one action item is on INCOIS. So where we have conducted a capacity building program exclusively for these 11 Pacific Islands on various aspects of operational oceanography. Followed by that, and we have also working with SCORI in Fiji, I think. So where we have developed a specific service on the ocean state forecast for the Pacific Island countries. That has been developed, and we are closely working with National Center for Coastal Research, our own sister institute in Chennai, and SCORI in Fiji. So every day, all these, now we have a web page exclusively for Pacific Rim Islands, where we provide these services on daily basis.
One more question we can take, if there is one. Yeah, please.
Sir, good morning. I'm Commandant Kundan. I'm Joint Director of Fisheries and Environment. Let me congratulate you on 26th Foundation Day. Out somewhere, somebody was asking why INCOIS in hinterland, though it is oceanic service. So I told him somebody has to remain dry when there is a tsunami. Sir, one of my input would be integration of eco-sensitive index. Basically, it is under the purview of MOE FCC. If it could be integrated to USA or genome, so whosoever is having a combat responsibility for oil spill response will get the immediate alert, and he can prioritize his action accordingly. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I think this is a suggestion.
That suggestion is well taken, sir. We will integrate with the system. So.
Yeah, one last question, gentlemen. Yeah, please.
My name is Birkin, sir, deep sea fisherman. So first of all, I thank you, INCOIS, because of 2021 and 22, I am the best fisherman award from Tamil Nadu. So I'm very, very thankful for INCOIS, you all. So one more thing, I need small request. Sometimes not evident, sometimes our boat in deep sea, some short circuits, all kind of equipments in failure. Someday we are critical that time. So we have all have phones, smartphones. Satellite phones also have, but in cloud, not working there. In cloud means satellite not working there. Then a very critical hours. So you have any solution for offline data or CMF? Now we download a CMF, very expensive. So anything you can help us to?
This one?
So this is when you are in deep sea, away from the
yes.
mobile.
Yes, sir. More than 300, 400 nautical from Kochi and Topamudi, any other resource. Because of cloud. Because someday BSN. I must say. Yes, I said.
One quick response to it is like, actually, have you heard about Gemini?
Did I have one? I have last time, Madam, give one device that also not working over the.
Oh, okay. Yes, yes.
There is one technical challenge probably.
One small suggestion would be like, see, some of the fishers, what they do is like, especially those who go out for 3 or 4 days, they will, our forecast spans up to 9 days. So you can collect the information, and that too in textual information it is available. So you can collect it and keep us a backup, and you can go.
Office for 1 month, sir. So 9 or 10 days running there, we search a fish and hunt a fish, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Naim. Your suggestion, your problem is really important, because when you are out in sea and your communication device is not responding,
Yes.
they need some solution.
Yes.
It is the job of the scientists and intellectuals here to think over it and do it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Because I am from the field, I stand in the streets. I understand your problem.
Okay.
Thank you very much for raising this.
Thank you,
sir, only one question we can take, because. Okay. Yeah, I think. Not.
Hello.
Yeah, actually, see, some feedbacks are also expected from pre-informed and people, users. See, I request you to make it in 2 to 3 minutes, everyone. So first, I would like to
2 minutes.
2 minutes, because we are running out.
We are running
short of
late.
time. Yeah.
Almost 30 minutes behind
So
schedule.
I would like to request Mr. Abhijit Thackeray from Reliance Foundation to give the feedback quickly. Yeah, give the mic there.
Hello. Yeah. First of all, I'm very much thankful for this user interaction meet, and we already have came with some of our fisher friends. So I'm working as a fisheries expert in the Reliance Foundation. So almost in all coastal states we are working, sir. In 42 districts we are working with fishermen, and 3 lakh plus fisher folks we are reaching through our advisories, through voice messages, text messages, through WhatsApp, through we also have an app called Machli, which has 10,000 plus users. So I'm very much thankful to all the team of Reliance scientists, because many times it happens that on Saturdays and Sundays also we'll be disturbing Dr. Ajay Kumar, Shweta Madam, Rakhi Madam, Hari Kumar sir, and so many times this BOYA deployment and recovery issues will be there. So we'll be disturbing them a lot. So thank you very much for this. Thank you.
Thanks for your very nice views.
Yeah, next I would like to request Mr. Tamilaragan, Development Coordinator from MSSRF.
Good morning to all. Now INCOIS is providing so many different informations, but today discussion was everything we are given to mechanized boat only. But nowadays the small scale fishers depend on so many informations like PFZ, because now we are disseminating only the tuna, the deep sea only we are providing. But earlier past 5 years we are asking for the oil sardine and mackerel, but now under that research only going on. But what the fishers are asking, when that will be come very soon, like this one of the major queries from fishers. And another one thing, now we are providing that wave height and wind speed, everything. But before venture for fishers, whenever the fishers venture, during that what they are asking, near the shore to the 200 meter, what that wave height, the specific data, if you, for past 3 days before, the Kanyakumari one fishers died near the shore, because that time wave height was 6 feet, but they don't know about how that crossed that the seashore area. So whenever they venture for fishing, after the come back, the landing, it will very helpful for us. That is the two major thing I would like to share here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, we are noting down. There are people noting down it and address them. And next is Captain Vidyasagar, INMAC, Indian Navy, sir.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Captain Vidyasagar, Director in MAC and also Command Met Officer, Southern Naval Command. First of all, sir, hearty congratulations on your 26th Foundation Day and also being awarded with the Subhash Chandra Bose Apada Prabandhan Puraskar. Very aptly awarded, sir. And I am privileged to be associated with INCOIS since 2008. However, Indian Navy, particularly Ocean Services, was associated, is continuously in association with the INCOIS since 2002. And entire Indian Navy since 2005 because of the tsunami early warning system which has been instituted, sir. And of late, even Met Services like INMAC is also entered into an MOU with INCOIS, and we are getting data continuously from you. I would divide my feedback into 3 areas. One is Met operations, ocean operations, and also into training. All are positive, sir. I don't think I will be coming up with any suggestions as of now because I find that all the scientists and professionals are very, very proactive. Though we don't have a hot link with you, any time of the day, if you give a call, we get a response from INCOIS scientists, sir. So coming to Met and ocean operations, sir, installation of ocean models, running of ocean models, fine-tuning them, providing of ocean atlas like SOVET, MAMET, and all those things have been extensively undertaken by INCOIS. We try to undertake validation and also use it for our tactical requirements. Coming to training, since 2022, in fact, we had entered into a training MOU. DNOM has entered an MOU with INCOIS for providing advanced oceanography training for a duration of 4 months. And that course is completely tailor-made for the requirement of Indian Navy. Prior to that, we were having capsule courses of around 3 days to 1 week. And it's a great value addition which is happening to Indian Naval METOC community. The Sarath tool being used by INCOIS is also being extensively used by onboard platforms during SAR, during any submergence or loss of item and all those things. That's a very, very positive feedback what we have with you, sir. So the association continues and we will try to look forward for more association with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Shall I call next?
Yeah.
Mr. Joseph Ragesh Borgish, Kanyakumari, fisherman.
I'm Tamil. நிறைய வாட்டி நாங்கள் வந்து மீன் கிடைக்கிற தகவல் வச்சு நிறைய மீன்
Just a minute. Can someone translate? Yeah, please. Yeah, please speak.
மீன் கிடைக்கிற தகவல் வந்து தந்திருக்காங்க எங்களுக்கு. நிறைய வாட்டி மீன் பிடிச்சிருக்கேன். ஒரு வாட்டிலாம் வந்து 5000 டன் மீன் பிடிச்சிருக்கேன் நாங்கள். கொலுசால மீன்.
He is Mr. James from Kanyakumari district of Tamil Nadu. So he regularly using the INCOIS potential fishing zone informations. So one time he got a bulk catch from the potential fishing zone. 5,000 tons of Decapterus species he caught from the potential fishing zones.
சீ கரண்டை வச்சு கொஞ்சம் பேசுகிறேன் மேடம். சீ கரண்டில் வந்து
You want to give some feedback on sea current information?
இப்போ பாயிண்ட் நம்பர் வந்து 0800385. ஈஸ்ட் நம்பர் வந்து 7728 500. எண்டிங் டைம் அதில் வந்து 0800 500 ஸ்டார்டிங். 7740 328 ஈஸ்ட் நம்பர். நீவாடு அதில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இங்கே ஒரு நீவாடு நிற்கி அங்கே ஒரு நீவாடு நிற்கி. அதனால் வந்து ஒரு வலைக்கு மட்டுமே 1 லட்ச ரூபா வருது. ஏன்னா அங்கே பார்க்கடல் ஃபுல்லாகவே பார்க்கடலில் தொழில் பார்க்குறதுனால ஃபுல்லாக பார்க்கடல்னால எங்களுக்கு அந்த இங்கே ஒரு நீவாடு கொடுக்கச்சில் வந்து அந்த நீவாட்டு போகிறதுக்கு வந்து நம்ம ட்ராவல் பண்ணி போச்சில் வந்து.
So INCOIS giving the sea current information, giving us a range from starting point to ending point. So when they put the fishing net, the in-between some rocky substratum is also there. So when they put the net in that particular area, sometimes their net got entangled into the rocky area. So in that way they get affected. So, that is also one of the major challenge when they are facing using the sea current information.
The team complete.
வேறு வந்து இந்த ஒக்கி புயல் வந்ததில்ல, அந்த ஒக்கி புயலோட வந்து நிறைய காற்று ஏற்கனவே எங்களுக்கு வந்து இன்காய்ஸ் வந்து தகவல் தந்துட்டாங்க. அதனால் கன்னியாகுமரியில் மட்டும் வந்து 400 படகு அதில் இருந்த மீனவர்கள் அவ்வளோ பேருமே வந்து இந்த இன்காய்ஸ் மூலமாக வந்து அவ்வளோ பேரும் கரையை வந்து உயிருக்கு பாதுகாப்பாக கரையை வந்துட்டாங்க.
Actually, during Oki cyclone, he has received the information from INCOIS on wind and alert system. So he communicated that information to the nearshore fisher people, those who are fishing in the nearshore area. So because of the services from his village, 400 people were safely rescued. 400 boats.
Yeah, just quickly I will respond to his current related concern. Actually, we are striving to improve the currents, in fact. And also one more point, this in the general service page, we are giving in a range. But at the same time, in our this web map service kind of stuff, we are having that point-based values. So we can make arrangements to take out and give that. And global scenario, the current accuracy would be maximum 0.6 correlation. That is the stage we are. That's what in my presentation I was telling about, where we can easily predict, but same time currents are getting improved.
ஸோ அவங்க தான் நீரோட்டத்துக்கு வந்து ஸ்ட்ரென்தன் பண்ணுறதுக்காக நிறைய எஃபர்ட் போட்டுட்ருக்காங்க. ஸோ இப்போ நம்ம வந்து வெப்சைட்டில் இருக்கிறது வந்து ஜென்ரல் இன்ஃபர்மேஷனாக இருக்குது. அந்த வெப்மேக் சர்வீஸில் வந்து ஸ்பெசிஃபிக் இது இருக்குன்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. ஸோ அதுலேருந்து எடுத்து தரலாம், இன்னும் போக போக இம்ப்ரூவ் பண்ணுறேன்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க.
Dr. Hari, I just wanted to react about the obstruction part, what he said. This is one point I thought I will include in my stakeholders meet when we are talking. But what he said is very right. So whatever predictions we are doing, this is the net is on the demersal side. So this is what is the futuristic point which we have to note down, that when we are predicting, the bottom is trawlable or not is also needs to be considered. Now this is a challenge we have.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion.
And we will be talking during the stakeholder meeting.
Yeah, good.
Working on it. Mostly soon we will be come up with some atlas. It's coastally submerged rocky outcrops. So I hope it will be more useful because it's also all developed on based on the few feedbacks collected from the user interaction meets, like from William ma'am.
Good
and
initiative.
it's also been validated with ma'am observations from MSSRF. So once it is ready, we will let you know, sir. Yeah.
Okay, and
yeah, actually, there was a special request. Maybe Chitti Babu, your people, just quickly, 30 seconds, what they want to mainly tell in their language. There itself they can speak, and we'll wind up this session.
नमस्ते, मैं नंद कुमार चोगले महाराष्ट्र से हूँ. हमारे उत्तन और सातपाटी में जो डोल का बोट रहते हैं ना, वो बाहर रहते हैं, और उसमें जो बड़ा शिप आता है ना, कंटेनर शिप, और 2-3 एक्सीडेंट हो गए. बोट डूब गने से बच गए, लेकिन वो कोस्ट गार्ड को भी हम इंफॉर्मेशन कर देते हैं, लेकिन वो पोजीशन वगैरह सब पूछते हैं. मैं पिछले साल मुंबई में गया था, उनको बात की और उनसे बताया, लेकिन अलर्ट सिस्टम क्या करना चाहिए. बड़ा ट्रांसपोर्टेशन है, बड़ी बड़ी शिप है, ऑयल कंटेनर आते हैं, सब आते हैं. एक साल में 4-5 एक्सीडेंट हो जाते हैं, तो उसको अलर्ट सिस्टम कैसा करना चाहिए, ये आपके हिसाब से ज़रा देखो, क्योंकि बड़ी हाथी है तो चींटी दिखती नहीं उसको. तो हम उसको बाहर करने के लिए, बाबा जहाज बड़ी आ रही है, तो हम खुद को कैसा अलर्ट सिस्टम आप कैसा सोचेंगे वो देखो. और जो अपना सिस्टम है ना, वो जो अलर्ट आता है 2-3 दिन पहले आता है, तो एक 7-8 दिन पहले अलर्ट आना चाहिए. हवा तेज़ है, क्योंकि हमारे इधर जो क्रीक एरिया है वो बहुत है. हाई टाइड होगा तो ही हम अंदर जा सकते हैं, लो टाइड होगा तो नहीं, क्योंकि पूरा सैंड से भरी हुई है. ये महाराष्ट्र का पूरा प्रॉब्लम है छोटी क्रीक की वजह से. तो हमको अगर मिलेगा, ज़्यादा जल्दी मिलेगी जानकारी, तो हम हमारा शिप छोटा बोट, हम स्मॉल फिशरमैन है तो अंदर खाड़ी में जा सकते हैं। ये दो हमारी आपका अलर्ट कैसा सोचते हैं, और एक 7-8 का दिन का बैकअप चाहिए हमको, और उसके लिए विंडी जैसा अलग ऐप चाहिए अपना। ये PFZ के बहुत ज़्यादा है, वो विंडी देखेंगे ना, अभी विंडी देखते हैं तो उनका पता है, लेकिन उसका परफेक्शन नहीं है। जो आपका इनकॉइस का है ना, वो परफेक्शन है। मैं इधर हमको बुलाया, इसके लिए मैं इनकॉइस का और रिलायंस फाउंडेशन का थैंक यू करते।
Thank you very much.
എൻ്റെ പേര് സുരേഷ്, കേരളത്തിൽ നിന്ന് വന്നേക്കണാണ്. കൂടെ ഗോപാലകൃഷ്ണൻ, തൃശ്ശൂർ, ഞാൻ എറണാകുളം.
ഞാനും കേരളമാണ്.
എളുപ്പമായി. അപ്പോൾ ഇപ്പോൾ ഇൻകോയ്സ് നമുക്ക് വരുന്ന ആ ഇൻഫർമേഷൻ വളരെയധികം ഉപകാരപ്പെടുന്നുണ്ട്. പഴയ കാലത്ത് നമ്മൾ ആകാശത്ത് നോക്കിയിട്ട് മേഘം കറുത്തിരിക്കണം, പെയ്യാനും പെയ്യാതിരിക്കാനും സാധ്യതയുണ്ടെന്നുള്ള രീതിയിലുള്ള ആ കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ അങ്ങോട്ട് മാറി ഇപ്പോൾ നമുക്കൊരു കൃത്യമായിട്ടുള്ളൊരു സമയം കണ്ടെത്തി തരുന്നുണ്ട്. ഇത്ര മണിക്ക് ഇന്നതുപോലെ തിരമാലകൾ ഉയരും, കാറ്റ് വരും. അപ്പോൾ അതിനനുസരിച്ച് നമുക്ക് ട്രിപ്പ് പ്ലാൻ ചെയ്യാൻ സാധിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. കൂടാതെ നമുക്ക് മത്സ്യലഭ്യതാ മേഖല അത് കൃത്യമായിട്ട് കാണിച്ചു തരുന്നുണ്ട്. അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ നമുക്ക് ഒരുപാട് ഇന്ധന ലാഭം കിട്ടുന്നുണ്ട്. നമ്മൾ കടൽ മുഴുവൻ അന്വേഷിച്ച് നടന്നുകൊണ്ട് മത്സ്യം അന്വേഷിച്ച് നടക്കാതെ ആ കൃത്യമായ സ്ഥലത്ത് ചെന്നിട്ട് നമുക്ക് മത്സ്യലഭ്യത ഉണ്ടാകാറുണ്ട്. ഒരു 50%-60% നമുക്ക് നേട്ടം ഉണ്ടാകാറുണ്ട്. പക്ഷേ അതിനൊരു വ്യത്യാസവും കൂടിയുണ്ട്. ഒരു 4 മണിക്കൂർ 5 മണിക്കൂർ മുമ്പാണ് നമ്മൾ ഇത് ചെയ്യണത്, ഈ ഇൻഫർമേഷൻ കിട്ടി നമ്മൾ പോണത്. അപ്പോൾ ആ സമയത്ത് ചില സമയങ്ങളിൽ നമ്മൾ ചെല്ലുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്ന മത്സ്യങ്ങളായിരിക്കില്ല, മത്സ്യങ്ങൾ കൂട്ടങ്ങൾ മാത്രമാണ് നമുക്ക് അവർ പറഞ്ഞു തരുന്നത്. കൂടാതെ നമ്മളുടെ ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്ന മത്സ്യയാനങ്ങളായിരിക്കില്ല നമ്മുടെ കയ്യിലിരിക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് മത്സ്യബന്ധനം നടത്താൻ പറ്റാതെ തിരിച്ചു പോകുന്ന ഒരു സാഹചര്യങ്ങളുണ്ട്. അതുകൊണ്ട് മത്സ്യത്തിൻ്റെ ഇനം അത് തിരിച്ചറിയാനുള്ള ഒരു സാഹചര്യം ഉണ്ടാക്കി തരണം. കൂടാതെ അതിനോടുകൂടി തന്നെ ഈ ഇനം അറിഞ്ഞാൽ തന്നെ പോരാ, ആ സ്ഥലത്തേക്ക് നമ്മൾ എത്തുമ്പോൾ 4-5 മണിക്കൂർ കഴിയും. അപ്പോൾ സ്വാഭാവികമായിട്ട് ഒഴുക്കിനനുസരിച്ച് മത്സ്യത്തിൻ്റെ ഗതി മാറ്റിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കും. അപ്പോൾ ആ സ്പോട്ടിൽ ചിലപ്പോൾ മത്സ്യം ഉണ്ടാകണമെന്നില്ല. അപ്പോൾ അതുകൊണ്ട് ഒഴുക്ക് കൂടി ഞങ്ങൾക്കത് ഇത് അറിയിച്ച് തന്നാണെങ്കിൽ വലിയ ഉപകാരമായിരുന്നു, മത്സ്യബന്ധനത്തിന് വലിയ ഉപകാരമായിരുന്നു.
ഓക്കെ, നെക്സ്റ്റ്.
So I think
കൂടുതലൊന്നും പറയാൻ സമയമില്ലാത്തതുകൊണ്ട് കൂടുതലൊന്നും പറയാൻ സമയമില്ല, അതുകൊണ്ട് എല്ലാവരും നന്ദി രേഖപ്പെടുത്തിക്കൊള്ളുന്നു.
ഞാൻ വളരെ വിശദമായിട്ട് സംസാരിക്കാം.
ഇൻകോയ്സിൻ്റെ വലിയൊരു ഉപകാരമാണ് ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് ചെയ്തു തന്നെ. ഞങ്ങൾ മാത്രമല്ല, വളരെയധികം ആൾക്കാർ അതിനെപ്പറ്റി సంసారిగాండు.
ఓకే ఓకే
థ్యాంక్ యూ.
నా పేరు చొక్కా ప్రసాద్ అండి, కాకినాడ ఉప్పాడ గ్రామం మాది. అయితే మీ ఇన్కాయిస్ రిలయన్స్ ఫౌండేషన్ వారు మా జీవితం మా మెచ్యూర్ కుటుంబాల్లో రాకముందు మా వేట విధానం ఎలా ఉండేదో చెప్దాం అనుకుంటున్నాను. ఒకప్పుడు ఈ ఇన్కాయిస్ను రిలయన్స్ ఫౌండేషన్ మా కుటుంబం రాకముందు మా విధానం ఏంటంటే 2 రకాల వేట విధానం చేసేవాళ్ళం. ఒకటి ఏంటంటే 2 రోజులు 3 రోజులు వేట, ఏ రోజు కూడా వచ్చే వేట, 2 రకాల వేటలు అన్నమాట. అయితే ఈ 2 రోజులు 3 రోజులు వేటకి వెళ్ళేటప్పుడు లోన్కి వెళ్ళేవాళ్ళం డీప్ సీకి. అక్కడ ధీరుభాయ్ అంబానీ అదే వాడు ఉండేది. ఆ వాడిని బేసేసుకొని మా మత్స్యకారులంతా ఆ వేటకి వెళ్తా దాని చుట్టుపక్కల వేసేవాళ్ళం. వేటంతా ముగించుకొని వచ్చేటప్పుడు అల్లం పెట్టి ఒడ్డుకు వచ్చేవాళ్ళం. ఒడ్డుకు వచ్చి తెలిసేది మేము ఏరియాకి వచ్చాము. అంతేంటే మేము ఉప్పటి నుంచి బయలుదేరినా వచ్చేటప్పుడు అంటే ఈ సముద్రం అటు ఇటు ప్రవహిస్తుంది. అది ఇంగ్లీష్లో కరెంట్ అంటున్నారు, మా తెలుగులో ఓడంటాం. వచ్చేటప్పుడు తెలిసేదన్నమాట మేము ఏరియాకి వెళ్ళాము. అప్పుడు ఒడ్డుకు వచ్చేవాళ్ళం. దీనివల్ల ఏంటంటే టైం కూడా వృధా అయ్యేది, డీజిల్ కూడా ఎక్స్ట్రా అయ్యేది. తర్వాత ఈ సమయానికి చేపలు తేడం వల్ల రేటు కూడా తగ్గేది. ఆ తర్వాత ఉండగా ఇది మామూలు టైంలో వేట. అది తుఫాన్ టైంలోని మాకు వాతావరణం ఇక్కడ తెలిసేది కదా, వేటకి వెళ్ళిపోయేవాళ్ళం. వెళ్ళిన తర్వాత వలేసిన తర్వాత అప్పుడు వాతావరణం రేజ్ అయిపోతే అయ్యో ఒకరోజు నేనే తానే తుఫాన్కి వేటకి వెళ్ళేటప్పుడు బాగానే ఉంది. 1 గంట ఆ టయానికి ఇంకా గాలి ఎక్కువ అవడం అల్లలు వేసిపోయామాట. అప్పుడు ఏం వల ఎత్తుతూ ఉంటే వల నెట్టు ఎత్తుతూ ఉంటే సగం నెట్ అవ్వబడి కట్ అయిపోయింది. అప్పుడు ఒడ్డుకు వచ్చేసి అక్కడి నుంచి మనం దానవాయిపేట నుంచి ఫిషింగ్కి వెళ్ళాము. ఒడ్డుకి రామపట్నం చేరుకున్నాం. ఆ రోజు అంతా మత్స్యకారులంతా అక్కడ అంతా సహాయం చేసి బచ్చం ఆయిల్ వాళ్ళు కొంచెం సహాయం చేసి మేము వచ్చామండి. అలాగే మాకులాగే రామపట్నం, చీరాల, అంతర్వేది అలా చేరుకున్నారు కొంతమంది. కొంతమంది నట్లుగా పూర్తి కట్ అయిపోవడం, నట్టు సగం కట్ అవ్వడం అలాగే జరిగేవి. అయితే 2008లో 2009లో తెలియదు, కానీ 2011లోనూ చిట్టుబా గారు అలాగే ఓనర్లు టీము కలిపి మా మత్స్యకార గ్రామాలకు వచ్చారు. మీటింగ్ అరేంజ్ చేయండి, మీకు ఇది చెప్తాను చెప్పేసి అంటే మా పెద్దలంతా కలిపి మీటింగ్ అరేంజ్ చేసాం. వాళ్ళు ఏం చేశారంటే మీకు వాతావరణ సమాచారం కూడా తెలుస్తాం అని చెప్పేసి అంటే మేము ఓకే అని చెప్పేసి అనుకున్నాం. అయితే అప్పుడు మాకు చిన్న సెల్ ఉండి వాళ్ళు మెసేజ్ పెట్టేవారు. ఎలాగా అది ఇంగ్లీష్లో అయితే కొంతమంది చదువుకున్నాం, మేము ఎక్కువ చదువుకోలేదు కాబట్టి తెలిసింది కాదు, తెలుగులో పెట్టేవారు. అంటే అదే గళ్ళు వచ్చి అప్పుడు అడిగాం ఇలా గళ్ళు వస్తున్నాయి మరి తెలియట్లేదంటే అప్పుడు వాయిస్ మెసేజ్ పెట్టారు. అంటే ప్రాంతానికి గాలి ఇంత వేగంగా ఉంది గంటకి, లేదంటే తుఫాన్ టైంలో వేటకెళ్తుందని చెప్పేవారు. ఆ రకంగా ఆ టైంలోని పైలెన్ను హెల్లెన్ను లెహరు తుఫాన్లు వచ్చాయి. అప్పుడు ఆ టైంలో ఒక్క ప్రాణ నష్టం కానీ ఆక్సిడెంట్ కానీ ఏం జరగలేదు. అంటే వేటకెళ్ళడం మానేసాం. అంతకుముందల్లా పేపర్ చూసేవారు, మత్స్యకారులు తుఫాన్లో పడిపోయారు లేదంటే ఇలా పడవలు పోయి అని చూసేవారు. అప్పటి నుంచి ఇప్పటి వరకు అలాంటి ఇంప్రెషన్ కూడా లేదు. అయితే ఉండగా పోయిన తర్వాత
డీటెయిల్గా ఒక మీటింగ్ పెట్టి అది వీల్ సాల్వ్ ఇట్.
కొన్నాళ్ళు పోయిన తర్వాత చేప సమాచారం చెప్తాను.
షూర్
అదండి
ఇక్కడ నుంచి సైంటిస్ట్కి పంపించాను.
ఓకే.
No, please. We are running short of time. Discussion could be taken up during lunch time because there are many stakeholders. You can have a discussion with them also. Okay? Odisha?
Only one. Okay.
Last.
ఇప్పుడు ఉద్దేశం ఏంటంటే అప్పుడు ఆ వేట నుంచి ఇప్పుడు లక్షల చేపలు తెచ్చే రేంజ్కి వెళ్ళాం. ఇప్పుడు అదే చెప్పండి, నేను కూడా అదే అండి.
Very fine.
1 second. 1 minute, sir. 1 minute.
Please tell, please.
சார் வணக்கம். தமிழ் மேடம் பூம்புவார் டிரான்ஸ்லேஷன் பண்ணிடுங்க. இப்போ எல்லா ஆப்லேயுமே வந்து நீரோட்டம் கொடுக்குறீங்க, காற்று கொடுக்குறீங்க, வெள்ளம் கொடுக்குறீங்க, கடல் அலை கொடுக்குறீங்க, எல்லாமே கொடுக்குறீங்க. ஆனால் அந்த நீரோட்டத்தில் கலர் கொடுக்க மாட்டீங்க. இந்த தண்ணியில் தான் இந்த மீன் கிடைக்கும். அதாவது பொறுப்பு தண்ணினா நீல கலர் தண்ணியில் தான் தூண்டி மீன் கிடைக்கும். அந்த கலங்கு தண்ணினா அது வெள்ளையாக இருக்கும், அந்த தண்ணியில் இழுவை போட்டுக்கு பாடு வரும். நீங்கள் இதெல்லாம் கொடுக்காதனால தூண்டிக்கு போகிறவங்களுக்கு நிறைய பாதிப்புனா ஒரு நாளைக்கு ஒரு 10,000 ரூபா டீசல் பண்ணிட்டு போகிறோம்னா அந்த தண்ணி இருந்தால் தான் அந்த மீன் கிடைக்கும். அந்த தண்ணி இல்லைனா அந்த மீன் கிடைக்காது. அந்த ஆப்பை வந்து இதில் சேர்த்து கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா மீனவர்களுக்கு ரொம்ப உதவியாக இருக்கும். இது வந்து எந்த இதுலையுமே நீங்கள் கொடுக்கல. இதை கொஞ்சம் டார்ச்சர் பண்ணிடுங்க.
हेलो, आई एम फ्रॉम ओडिशा. सर मैं ओडिया कोई भी ना तेलुगु रे ओडिया कोई भी तो सर
ओडिया कोन के असुविधा नहीं.
I will translate. सर प्राय तेलुगु వచ్చంతి ముటికే తెలుగు రే भी कोई देव सर. మేము ఒడిశా నుంచి వచ్చాం, పూరి మాది. ఒడిశాలో పూరిలో ఏంటంటే మన తెలుగు వాళ్ళు కూడా చాలామంది మత్స్యకారులు ఉన్నారు అక్కడ ఎక్కువగా ప్రమాదం అయ్యేది. ఎందుకంటే అక్కడ ల్యాండింగ్ సెంటర్ లేని వల్ల అక్కడ ఏంటంటే ఫిషింగ్ ల్యాండింగ్ సమయంలో కానీ ఫిషింగ్ వెళ్ళడానికి కానీ మత్స్యకారులు ఏంటంటే ఇక్కడ నుంచి ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ నుంచి ఒడిశాకి మైగ్రేట్ అయ్యి వెళ్ళారు. ఎందుకంటే వాళ్ళు ఫిషింగ్కి వెళ్ళకపోతే వాళ్ళకి తినడానికి కూడా ఏముండదు. దానివల్ల ఏంటంటే వాళ్ళు డైలీ ఫిషింగ్ వెళ్ళిపోతారు. ఏంటంటే వర్షమని వాన రాని అలల పడిని ఏదైనా సరే ఫిషింగ్కి వెళ్ళిపోయే వాళ్ళు, దానివల్ల ప్రమాదం అయ్యి డెత్ చాలా ఎక్కువ అయ్యేది. ఆ సమయంలో ఏంటంటే ఒక కుటుంబంలోని ఒక భర్త చనిపోయారంటే ఆ కుటుంబంకి చాలా అంటే ఇబ్బందిగా, అంటే రోడ్డు మీద పడిపోయే స్థితికి వచ్చేవాళ్ళు. మన వాళ్ళు ఏంటంటే తిండి కోసమే ఎందుకన్నా కష్టపడడానికి ధైర్యంగా వెళ్ళిపోయేవాళ్ళు ఫిషింగ్కి. అయితే ఇన్కాయిస్ వాళ్ళు ఎమర్జెన్సీ వార్నింగ్ కానీ ఒకవేళ వాతావరణం క్లైమేట్ బాగోకపోయినా సరే తెలియచేశారు. దానివల్ల ఏంటంటే ఒరిస్సాలోని డెత్స్ కేసెస్ చాలా తక్కువగా ఉన్నాయి. దానివల్ల రిలయన్స్ ఫౌండేషన్ వాళ్ళు కూడా చాలా అవేర్నెస్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ చేసి మచిలీ యాప్ ఇన్స్టాలేషన్ చేశారు. ఎక్కడ అలల అంటే డెప్త్ ఎక్కువ ఎక్కడ ఉంటుంది, అలలు ఎక్కువగా ఎక్కడ పడతాయి, దీనికోసం కూడా ఇన్కాయిస్ వాళ్ళు చాలా ఎమర్జెన్సీ వార్నింగ్ అలర్ట్ కోసం తెలియజేస్తున్నారు. చాలా చాలా థ్యాంక్స్.
ओडिशा कोठे आछंती?
पूरी सर, पूरी
आज्ञा. अच्छा, पूरी को चंद्रभागा
पेंटाकोटा ना, ये पूरी पेंटाकोटा
आज्ञा. अच्छा, आई एम वेरी हैप्पी दैट वी हैव multilingual marine fishermen in our country. Telugu man from Odisha. We cannot take more questions. I think already we are over. 1 minute 30 seconds. 30 seconds. And this, you are the last. No.
మై నేమ్ సతీష్ సార్. మాది విశాఖపట్నం పెదవాళ్ళతో పెదజాలపట్నం గ్రామం నుంచి వచ్చానండి. అలాగే చాలా సంవత్సరాల ఒక 10 సంవత్సరాల కిందట అయితే మేము చాలా ఇబ్బందులు పడేవాళ్ళమండి. ఎందుకంటే లోపలికి వెళ్ళిపోయేవాళ్ళము, కానీ ఎటువైపు వస్తున్నామో మాకు దిశ తెలిసేది కాదు. తిరుమలరావు గారు మా రిలయన్స్ ఫౌండేషన్ వాళ్ళు మా గ్రామానికి వచ్చి, మీరు ఇలాగా లోపలికి వెళ్ళిపోతారు కదా, మాకు వచ్చే సమాచారం మీకు ఇస్తాము, మీరు అందరూ ఒకసారి కోఆర్డినేట్ అయి వస్తే మా దగ్గర మీటింగ్ పెట్టి వాళ్ళు హెల్ప్లైన్ నెంబర్ ఇవ్వడం జరిగింది సార్. అలా వింకేజ్ వారికి అలాగే రిలయన్స్ ఫౌండేషన్ వారికి నా హృదయపూర్వక ధన్యవాదాలండి. ఈ ఒక్క ఇలాంటివి ఎన్నెన్నో ఇంకా చేయాలని ఇంకేజ్ వారికి అలాగే రిలయన్స్ ఫౌండేషన్ వారికి ధన్యవాదాలు తెలుపుకుంటున్నామండి. ఈ మచిలీ యాప్ పెట్టడం వల్ల దాంట్లో వడి అని ఉంటుంది, వడి నెక్స్ట్ చేపలు పడే ప్రదేశాలు కూడా ఉంటాయి. అది బేస్ చేసుకొని మేము వేటకు వెళ్ళేవాళ్ళమండి. దానివల్ల ఏమిటంటే ఆయిల్ కూడా సేవ్ అయ్యేది. ఆ జీపీఎస్ఎల్ పాయింట్ మీద ఒడ్డుకి కరెక్ట్గా వచ్చేవాళ్ళం. దానివల్ల ఆయిల్ సేవ్ అయ్యేది. ఆయిల్ సేవ్ అవ్వడం ఏంటంటే వేట త్వరగా ముగించుకొని వచ్చి చేపలు కూడా పుష్కలంగా పడేవి. దానివల్ల ఏమంటే చాలా గతంలో అయితే చాలా ఇబ్బందులు పడేవాళ్ళమండి. ఈ రిలయన్స్ ఫౌండేషన్ వాళ్ళు ఇంకోస్ వారు ఇలాంటి పెట్టడం వల్ల మాలాంటి మత్స్యకారులు ఎంతో దీనివల్ల లబ్ధి పొందుతున్నారండి. ఇలాంటివి ఎన్నో కార్యక్రమాలు చేస్తారని ధన్యవాదాలు తెలియజేసుకుని సెలవు తీసుకుంటున్నాను.
Thank you very much. It is always a pleasure on my part to find myself among the real users of technology and knowledge. So before thanking the two speakers and the wonderful stakeholders who are really in the grassroots of our knowledge input, their interaction. So it was enlightening for me as well as for you. I will sum up like this, because whatever the two distinguished speakers have told us, I am not going into what they told. I am harping on a platform where INCOIS has infused that much of enthusiasm among the users of their knowledge. So first of all, this panel tells us that integration of different service delivery systems in our country could be integrated and they could be brought one platform. Two scientists, one administrative officer from a state which has faced disasters. So INCOIS has made this panel, which itself says that integration is the future. We must try to integrate, and the hall shows that there are representatives from DG shipping to Indian Coast Guard, Reliance Foundation, Marine Fishermen Community, and many other stakeholders. So this is the future. Thank you, INCOIS. Thank you for your efforts. Number two, INCOIS has developed certain services which are needed not in the present but in the future. So this organization we can safely call as a future-ready organization. So again, thanks to them, because unless an institution looks to the future and prepares itself, it will become redundant after a few days. INCOIS has understood that, and they are in the right track of doing things. The more important is that the stakeholder interaction they have organized, they are taking the feedback and translating those feedback into the decision making and research and making knowledge products for their use. So thanks again to you. Third, INCOIS has worked with it is not only a knowledge institution. This particular national level knowledge institution has engaged with administrative officials at the very lowest level of our administration. In Odisha, they have mingled with the community volunteers, the sarpanches, the panchayat raj representatives, as well as district administration. As a result, things are improving, and we are seeing the results that our community is getting ready to face any particular disaster, tsunami or storms or something like that. So this is a learning for all national level institutions of our country. It is not only to produce knowledge, You have to convert those knowledge into actionable things and handhold those who are in the field. So INCOIS has already entered into that domain. They are working closely with OSDMA as well as in the field level functionaries, not in Odisha, but across many states. So this is one aspect of their intervention. So I always congratulate them that despite being a national institution, they are in the field. Thank you very much, sir. One more thing I was discussing with Mr. Patavi. This is a knowledge institution, scientific institution. They have research, they have data. The intellectuals or the scientists or the marine fishermen community, they understand it. The general people, they are yet to understand what INCOIS is. A general person in our country appreciates ISRO when it sees a rocket flying. So INCOIS must do something to make itself understandable by the general public of our country. Otherwise, it will remain a scientific institution beneficial to the nation, but away from the purview of the sight of the general public. So we must translate their high-tech knowledge products into understandable vernacular of our different languages of our country so that they know something about the institution. One more thing they have done, they have used their knowledge product to advise the professionals of our country. So they have converted their knowledge into livelihood support products. That is the need of the hour. Many of our institutions, knowledge institutions, they are not doing that. In Western countries, their universities, their research institutions, they cater to the requirements of the industry. That's why their products are much more sellable, much more usable in the real life situations. INCOIS has started doing that. So that's why there are many professionals who are sitting here. There are also professionals at the very grassroots level. The person who is taking the marine fishing boat to the sea and making fish, he is helping the country's economy. And he is assisted by this institution. So this is the future. Unless we do it, we cannot survive. So INCOIS is doing a yeoman service to the nation by bringing their knowledge to the professional field to support livelihood. One last thing I will be telling. What we hear from the stakeholders here, every community has a culture of its own that is seen in the dance, music, and festivals. What we do not understand or see is the subculture of that community to survive in a disaster, to survive against odds of livelihood. That subculture was visible through their words. That is the sense which actually triggers us, the disaster managers, how to frame our disaster management or disaster preparedness activities. That exactly is being taken up, tapped by INCOIS. So they are getting enriched by these certain activities. I hope INCOIS will continue to do such engagements in future. So last, our knowledge must be converted into products. Products which I need or the person on the street needs, the institution or industry needs. So unless we convert our knowledge into products, it will not be useful. INCOIS has started doing that. Thanks to people like Dr. Hari Kumar, Mr. Patavi, and INCOIS scientists. This is the only institution which has started converting their knowledge into knowledge products, usable knowledge products that is useful for Indian Coast Guard, shipping, Reliance Foundation, fishermen community, and the disaster managers like us. So friends, this is the future that we are coming to. A collaborative effort of different stakeholders who are actually using their knowledge So I hope the practice established or the good practice created by INCOIS will be replicated, adapted, and expanded by other national level institutions so that our country becomes more resilient and we face not only the natural hazards but alternative things to survive. Chilika Development Authority in Odisha Chilika is one of the largest brackish water lakes. What we need, some gentleman friend was telling, marine fishermen community they have started facing the problem of their number has increased. So the point is now we have to come up with new ideas of alternative livelihood using the marine resources or water resources without becoming a burden on the ecosystem. So my suggestion, INCOIS scientists may try to come up with new ideas how to use the water resources or the blue water economy, whatever we have, without becoming a burden on the ecosystem, the fragile ecosystem that contains. Thank you very much. Thank you a lot for organizing this.
Actually, I would like to say that immediately we are noting down and recording every feedbacks and future requirements, and it is being addressed with no doubt. We are having good collaborators like NGOs, MSSRF, Reliance Foundation, and there are few more. So we will do that. And with this, this session reached to an end. And thank you very much, Dr. Kamallochan Mishra, to chair the session, and Mr. Patabi to co-chair the session. I would like to request you to be in the front row now. Yeah. Give us 1 minute to arrange the seats. We will go to panel discussion. One paper. Yeah. And board. Mic also. Okay, without any further delay, we would like to move on to panel discussion. I would like to request the panelists to come over dais and occupy the seats. The panelists are Commodore Abhinav Barve, CMDE, Naval Oceanography and Meteorology, Indian Navy. ADG Donny Michael, PTM, TM, Coast Guard, Indian Seaboard. Welcome, sir. Captain Manish Kumar, Nautical Surveyor come DDG Tech, DG Shipping, please. Captain K. Sridharma Shasta, Port Officer Kakinada, had been, called by CM to have a meeting, so he expressed his inability to come. So Dr. U. Sridhar, Principal Scientist and SIC, VRC, ICAR, CIFT. Dr. Velvidi, Scientist and Area Director, Coastal Resources Fisheries, MSSRF. Sri Ramraj Narasimhan, Senior Director, Program Management and Technical Support, CDRI. Also, I would like to request Sri Patabi Ramarao, Group Director, INCOIS, to moderate the panel discussion. Please, sir.
Terry, can I? Yeah, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this panel discussion. I know that I'm standing in between the lunch and you now, and it's supposed to be closed by this time, but now we are starting. And afternoon, we have our Foundation Day celebration scheduled at 2 o'clock, so now we are in a very tight situation. So initially, the time was given about 45 minutes, but now we have to reduce considerably. So I request all the panelists to restrict it to 2 to 3 minutes, not to the questions that I'm going to ask you. So to start with the panel discussion, of course, it's my privilege to be the moderator of the session. Director in charge Balkrishna is busy with some other meeting, so now I take this session as a moderator. The first question goes to, it's related to blue economy, which we were talking about in the morning. Also, chief guest talked about the blue economy, what we need, the science that is required to improve the services and contribute to the GDP. Again, our target for the Amrit Kal is to double the GDP from the blue economy sectors. So in this context, it is very important that the question, what I'm going to ask to Captain Manish Kumar and Dr. Velvidi. The question to you is, presently, how much does the ocean resources, that includes fishery, marine and coastal activities, shipping, what we are hearing, that are contributing to the blue economy, and how it can be improved. The INCOIS services can be improved to contribute to the blue economy. Now, first I request Captain Manish Kumar for your response.
Thank you, sir. First of all, good afternoon to everyone. I'm Captain Manish Kumar from DG Shipping. It's an absolute honor to be here representing DG Shipping on this auspicious day of 26th Foundation Day of INCOIS. My heartiest congratulations to entire INCOIS team. INCOIS has been a front of runner for providing critical ocean information services that support safe navigation, coastal resilience, and sustainable marine operations. Before I answer to the questions, I would like to also reiterate what my colleague Captain Azad sir has said. We are going to sign an MOU with INCOIS that will make a major steps towards providing ocean research information to maritime operations. Under this initiative, INCOIS will conduct a comprehensive study on wave heights, periods, wave swell periods across entire Indian coastline. That is the first time it is going to happen. Earlier, INCOIS has done this studies in an isolated manner in a regional areas that has been covered. This time they are going to study entire Indian coast that includes Andaman and Nicobar Island, Lakshadweep Island. So why this study is important, I would like to highlight that. With that study, we will also come to know about the inland waterways demarcation. Like we will be providing a IV limits, especially in the Andaman Islands and Lakshadweep, where the baseline is not mentioned. Otherwise, by thumb rule, any IV vessel has to work within the baseline. So, but in Andaman, Nicobar and Lakshadweep, there are baselines in some of the islands, it is not mentioned. So it becomes very important to demark the IV vessels limit. Otherwise, because of their inherent nature in construction, they may end up in a trouble when they are exposed to the weather. So that is a very important thing which will play into the role. Now coming to the question, I'd like to highlight that blue economy is a key driver for India's economy. So I'd like to highlight the figures in this regard, that fisheries, marine, coastal tourism, and offshore shipping is contributing around 4% to India's GDP. Fisheries and aquacultures are about 1.3%, and the shipping and ports, the 90% of the goods are transported by sea, and out of that 67% by volume, the transport is being taken care by the sea. So that is why it is very important for any economy to develop their oceans, their research institutions, and the end users information, how they can take this information for their advantage. That is very important. So INCOIS services can enhance the blue economy by providing safe and efficient maritime information, that a real-time wave forecast, ocean current data, and weather advisory. As the stakeholders have indicated, that if they can get a real-time information, and some of them have also mentioned about if they can get forecast for about 15 days or a month, that will really help them to plan their activities safely without landing into any trouble, and then other organization has to come into for their rescue. So that will make a huge role in safe operation. Then about the fisheries, we have a panelist. They may provide more information into that. I will just like to highlight that with this information, the fisheries industry can also get benefit by having a safe operations. The coastal resilience and the climate adaptation, the tsunami early warning systems and storm surge predictions that can improve disaster management. This will really going to help. And of course the offshore industries is also required to have the activities in a safer manner, so that can also be very well planned. The deep sea mineral exploration and the marine biological can also be further using this development. So going way forward, the strengthening the integration of the oceanographic data into marine policies and decision making, expanding the coastal shipping. So if we have a scientific research backed information, it will definitely augment our coastal shipping. This is also one of the initiatives, and also aim of this government, and Honorable Prime Minister has encouraged to increase our coastal shipping. So that will definitely going to contribute and supplement his initiatives. And this enhancing public-private collaboration, that will help to ensure the data-driven sustainable approach to maritime development. Going ahead with the INCOIS MOU, I think this is going to create a more efficient, safe and sustainable maritime future, ensuring India's maximum potential of its vast ocean resources while protecting the marine environment. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain Manish. Now, LVG.
So good afternoon to all. First, I would like to congratulate INCOIS for its 26th year of annual day. So as an institute, MS Swaminathan Research Foundation associated with INCOIS more than 2 decades. And we are also proud to say that we are part of the INCOIS various value-added products for the fishing community. So actually, this time I have to highlight 2 important points. One is about, I do not know whether any such institution in India having such a huge network of stakeholders, from the fishermen to the Navy, Coast Guard, and almost all type of stakeholders, those who are involved in the fisheries sector is the part of INCOIS stakeholders. So it is the only one institute having such a huge network of stakeholders. The second important thing I have to highlight here is that the scientists here at the INCOIS, actually, when we approach any institutions, so we have got a lot of hurdles to reach them. But in INCOIS, either the director or the technical team, so we can reach them at any point of time with the feedbacks. They are ready to listen our feedback and integrate into the feedback on their services. This is the uniqueness of INCOIS, and we're really proud of association with the INCOIS in this endeavors. So coming to the point, actually, the Indian blue economy. So the Indian blue economy is play a critical role in the Indian economy. So particularly the marine fisheries. So it gives the various services to the stakeholders. So not only from the economic importance, social relevance, as well as the environmental conservation relevant services. So for example, the employment opportunities, employment livelihoods. So the marine fisheries provides more than approximately 4 million people are depending on the marine fisheries for their day-to-day livelihood sustenance. Not only the fishermen, the processing industries, trading industries, all are depends on this particular services. Then coming to the export earnings. So as per the recent estimate, so more than 50,000 crores we earn from the marine fisheries. So it is in the USD value, it is, comes around 6.7 billion US dollar value we earn from the marine fisheries sector. Then like my friend told, the GDP, the marine fisheries alone contributed 1.4 percentage of total Indian GDP. This is all in the economic point of view. So coming to the social relevance, so it gives the livelihood for the number of people, the coastal communities, those who are depending on the ocean resources. So it gives them not only the employment opportunities, it gives them the safety, security, all those things from the marine fisheries sector. And also the community, they have the cultural bindings with the marine fisheries. So they have the close, even today from the feedback of the community, because of the bindings only, they have come up with so many suggestions and feedback and other things. Then other important aspect of this, the blue economy thing, is that environmental perspective. So one is about the biodiversity conservation. So the marine fisheries is actually to promoting sustainable way of fishing practices one side. The other side, the ecosystem based services, mainly on the coastal protection, then water filtration, as well as the carbon sequestration. So these are all the things in which the marine fisheries play a major role in the Indian blue economy. So however, I have to highlight a few data. So how this this particular things are facing issues in recent days. So for example, you take 2023 data, the Indian total marine fish landings is about 3.53 million tons. So in which Tamil Nadu alone so contributed for 16% of the total fish catch of India. So however, the Tamil Nadu witnessed 22% of total fish catch reduction than the 2022. So it is mainly because of increasing number of extreme events like cyclones or any swells and other important things. So this is one of the area we have to look after one side. Then other side, the interaction with the increasing interaction between the fishes as well as the marine animals. So especially the jellyfish, turtles, so that incidence also increasing like anything. So this also affects the marine fisheries. So under these circumstances, the INCOIS services play a critical role. So today morning, INCOIS team presented the various services of INCOIS, starting from ocean state forecast to potential fishing zone, storm surge alert, and other customized products. So all these services helps the marine coastal communities on various aspects. One is about to increase their income, then reduce their loss, not only the livelihood asset loss, even their life loss, and risk reduction is another side. Then searching time of their fishing is also drastically reduced. So these are all the novel service, because of the novel services of the INCOIS. In this context, I am also highlight few points. If we want to increase the blue economy, so that we increase our Indian economy. So INCOIS also do some kind of research on in the future areas. So in the morning I have highlight few points. So still again, so based on my earlier the chair, he highlighted about the livelihood support services related forecast. So including the cage farming. Why I am highlighting this particular point is that under the PMMSY, now the government of India promoted cage fish farming across the coast. More than 50,000 farmers, they are engaged in this particular endeavors. So they need a customized product. So like that, Tamil Nadu coast is announced as a seaweed biosphere, seaweed park area. So the women from that particular area, they have been involved in the seaweed cultivation, seaweed collection and all. They also need near shore advisories on safe collection of seaweeds. So those kind of customized product is need of an hour from INCOIS. And another important thing is that actually the harbor, nowadays the harbors are increasing like anything. You take even this fishing harbor itself, even my state, my own state, within 10 kilometer one harbor is coming in. So in that context, the location specific harbor forecast, because the sea current wave action in that particular area is different from other area. So the fishermen are facing issues when they cross the mouth region. So we need such a customized products so that it address the livelihood needs of the coastal communities.
One important point that I can take from Manish is the climate adoption, which LVG also has mentioned about. Like now, INCOIS has come up with ocean climate advisory services as part of our deep ocean mission, where we are trying to develop the future projections of the coastal inundation, like the sea level rise and the coastal inundation related things. So probably that can address the points that you have mentioned. And other one is Manish has mentioned about deep sea mineral exploration and all. So of course, the whatever environmental data that is required for environmental impact assessment or when you start the exploration and all. So the data from INCOIS is very, very important that we can contribute to these things. So other thing is policy, ocean data in the policy. Of course, as I mentioned, INCOIS is an ODC and we have all the data related to oceanography. So that will be a very key element when you come up with any kind of the policy related to maritime activities. That we can contribute. Most important thing which you have mentioned is like public-private collaboration. That's where you can see that now we are working with the industry as well as the different things that Harikumar has shown, and often we are going to have MOUs. So other thing, Velviji has mentioned about the employment opportunities. Of course, she mentioned about the increase in the harbors, but anyway, that will create the employment opportunities. But you asked for the location-specific focus. That is going to be the very important thing, and also the biodiversity conservation, the sustainability. So now INCOIS is getting into new services, and also you said interaction of the fish with other things like jellyfish and other things. Now INCOIS, in addition to species-specific focus, now we are also looking into that jellyfish information system. So last week we had our PRMs where we had some projects given to the coastal universities where we are working with them to develop the habitat suitability for the. It has got both advantages and disadvantages. Now we are working towards development of jellyfish information system. So these are few of the things that we can capture. Anyway, my colleagues are capturing. So now I'll go to the second question related to the national security aspect and also the disaster aspect. Now, the question is how good are the observations that INCOIS is implementing the various diversified ocean observing system. So how good are these, the data that is coming from these observations, and how they are being used for this when you talk about the disaster related things like the tsunami, storm side, high weathers and other things, as well as how they're helpful for the national security aspects. And then when you talk about these things, what should be your ideas like how we should augment the observation system to meet the requirements both in terms of the national security as well as the disaster management. So now first I request when it comes to the national security aspect, I request Commodore Abhinav Baldry to comment on this question, followed by ADG Donny Michael. I think this.
So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Commodore Abhinav Barve from the Indian Navy, and I am representing the Navy as well as the Directorate of Naval Oceanology and Meteorology. And let me start by saying that after the India Met Department, if there is one organization which is absolutely bread and butter for us, it is INCOIS. And while congratulating you on your 26th anniversary, I would say, let me highlight the most heartwarming part of the day so far, the fantastic interaction that we had with the users on ground. And in your case, it's on water. The fishermen and the people who actually use the products. And this is user interaction and feedback at its finest. Now, while they have come here, what I would like to highlight is that because they have come here, there are two things. One is that they believe in you. And secondly, that INCOIS as an organization is not scared to hear from them. And these are both indicative of a very proactive organization. My association with INCOIS goes back to about 2008. And I can give you one example of how proactive INCOIS was in 2008 as well. When I came here, I was posted at the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. And I came here because I was told that there's a tsunami warning center here. We didn't know that then. I came here, I was taken around the center. It was a wonderful center even then. But when I was going back, I asked the director that time, what can I take back? I need something to take back to the Navy. And ladies and gentlemen, you won't believe it. Within a space of 45 minutes, 2 or 3 phone calls were made to Bell in Bangalore. And at that time, the tsunami warning boards were under manufacturing and a prototype had been made in Bangalore. Even INCOIS had not seen it properly. And one naval aircraft was actually flying from Bangalore the next night to Port Blair. And this board was packed up, shifted into the naval aircraft, and it was sent to Port Blair while I was sitting here. And I was told that once the equipment reaches Port Blair, a team will come and will set it up. And the first tsunami warning board of INCOIS was set up in the Joint Operations Center at Port Blair. And 15 days after it was set up, the president visited Port Blair. And we took him to the Joint Operations Center. And when he entered, INCOIS Hyderabad sent him a message saying, "Good afternoon, sir," from INCOIS. And all this was done by just a few phone calls. And INCOIS has not changed even today. You remain proactive, and I would like to congratulate you on that. Now, coming to the Indian Navy, now what one has to understand is that the same, let's say, parameters become different when different stakeholders look at it. The fishermen community looks at the water as your place of work. The Indian Navy looks at it like its battlefield. So our concerns, our requirements are completely different from what maybe the other stakeholder would look at it as. And it's very difficult to imagine each other's concerns. However, I would like to place on record that we have had, I would say, multitude of products that INCOIS has developed with us and continues to develop it. And in fact, what we are going to do now is we are going to integrate some products which are available in your Samudra app into our own indigenous application so that we get real-time tsunami warnings and various other products of the ocean integrated in our app as well. We already have a couple of memorandums of understanding, both on data sharing as well as training. I would like this audience to know that INCOIS is the organization that is training our oceanographers of the future. They come here for a 4-month course, which is already, I think, 2 iterations have happened. And we have seen remarkable quality in the course content and the way it is conducted. What we can do in future? Well, there's always scope. And somebody in the presentation that was shown, we spoke about AI-driven technologies to kind of make a difference. So I would say that we are looking forward to AI-driven ocean predictive models for greater accuracy towards digital forecasting for national economic benefits and, of course, our own defense applications. We would be very interested in the glider program that INCOIS is operating on. And in fact, informally, in some discussions, we have said that we could give you some areas of our interest where your gliders could be deployed, and you could take away the scientific part of the observations and you could give us the strategic outputs for including in our operational planning. We would like to see if we could get into the domain of cybersecurity vis-a-vis these products. Actually, what happens is a lot of the stakeholders who are in the CV street are not very bothered whether the information that is coming to you over the internet or is just coming through on open source. But it makes a huge difference for us. At times, ships at sea are unable to access what is readily available because they cannot access the internet directly for security reasons. So we are forever looking at solutions where we can have some kind of security protocols inbuilt and we can access them so that the location of our ships, etc., does not get compromised. So that's an area where we feel that we can jointly work and come up with some solutions. We would look at promoting data-driven policy making for sustainable ocean resource management and, of course, improve data accessibility as well as our training. That, I think, is from my side. And thank you once again for giving us the opportunity to come here and share our thoughts.
Thank you, Commodore Abhinav. And may I request now ADG Donnie Michael, your response.
Good afternoon, sir. I just try to be quick. Firstly, congratulations on the 26th Foundation Day. And like Navy, we are also interacting with INCOIS right from its inception. The products which we focus and jointly developed is, one of them is the SARAT, the Search and Rescue Edit tool, because the Coast Guard is mandated to undertake search and rescue services in the 3 oceanic regions, this Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea, and the Indian Ocean region, because we have a vast sea areas, which is actually double the size of the EZ. That is 4.6 million square kilometers is responsible for search and rescue by the Indian Coast Guard, which we coordinate through 3 maritime rescue coordination centers. And just want to give you a brief. We save around 300 lives every year, and that includes half of them are fishermen. There are a lot of problems which I'll come to you later, but when we were just going through this search and rescue edit tool, we had to improvise many times, and think at the version 4 is working, and still, it still gives the probability, it doesn't give the actual position. But still, we were able to, most of the 70% of the time, we access this tool, and we are able to reach the objective and able to render the services. Another services which we use from the INCOIS is the oil spill trajectory model. The Coast Guard has responded more than 97 oil spills in the last 30 years. The most recent one we responded is almost 2 years back. That was off Chennai. So that also, it gave us a lot of time for us to respond, because we know oil spill is likely to affect this particular coast in another 12 hours. So we mobilized most of equipment over there and actually prevented reaching the sensitive areas. So that helped us. But still, I just request more validation for oil spill models. Because what abroad, what they do is, if it happens more than, say, 300 kilometers or 500 kilometers, they have something called a buoy, which has the same specific gravity akin to that of the crude oil, where they put the leading part of the oil, and that gives you, direct live forecast to the Coast Guard Operations Center, where we can just, mobilize the ships to go and tackle the oil spill right into the ocean before it reaches the coastline. So that will help us. Now, so many fishermen are come today. I see that there was a question like, when a boat, come and collides with another bigger vessel, and we want to inform the authorities who are not able to do it. But I just want to say, because besides INCOIS, the Coast Guard also interact with the NIO, National Institute of Oceanography, NIOT, and beside various other scientific organizations, and also ISRO. They made a model called Distress Alert Transmitter. It works, it's the first country in the world which works exclusively on a frequency called 406 megahertz and made particularly for the fishermen, because it doesn't interfere with other frequency. And this is carried, this is called Distress Alert Transmitter, now costs about 10,000 rupees. Initially, 10,000 or 12,000 that transmitters were distributed. The original, I don't know, still are working or not, because you have to replace the battery every year. And fishermen, some do carry, some do not carry it. I saw most of them, in a dilapidated states. So just whoever the fisheries authorities or the fishermen are there, please do carry, because live incident has happened and more than 70 or 80 search and rescue operations were undertaken just because a distress alert transmitter provided us the exact position where the incident happened, and we reached them and we saved. So that has been a wonderful tool to provide the rescue to the fishermen. And the final thing I just recommend is, Coast Guard also provide assistance to the fishermen when an oil spill happens in a particular area, say a particular fishing zone. I take example of Ennur oil spill, where under international laws, the compensation, besides the damage, they get some, the fishing boat damages happen, or they're not able to go for fishing or something like that. They're given some particular amount. But what they are lost for the future for fishing, you have to give data. This is a particular fishing zone, and this was the particular fish catch is available. And because of the oil spill, these fishes are not available. So the loss is going to be for the fishermen for the next 2 months, 3 months, till such time they are again the areas repopulated with the fishing boats. So accordingly, these fishermen are given that much compensation in advance. Because we lack this data, most of the insurance company don't give this part of the compensation to the fishermen. So if we have this data coming up with us, and we can substantially claim and argue on behalf of the fishermen to give this kind of claim. And recently I found I'm in charge, I'm the ADG Coast Guard. My area of responsibility extends from Calcutta to Kanyakumari. So under me, the 2 regions are there. I personally saw during my walks in Vizag, Rishikanda, and all these places, in Marina or South beaches, there are almost, I personally found more than 100 or more turtle carcasses. This year, particularly, large olive ridley turtles washed ashore, and they are dead. I don't know for what reason, because I tried to find whether it got stuck in the net and the fishermen threw it overboard, or actually some other reason is there, or something, they're just coming and they're dead. So there are a lot of news which has happened recently. I think National Green Tribunal has taken suo cognizance, and they're asking all the agencies to act very seriously on this note. So I think this area also, some scientific organization maybe Like you are saying now, you can track jellyfish and also give advisory. So maybe you can give advisory for this already also. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now, Ram Raj Narsimham, your response to the question.
Thank you very much. I've been interacting with INCOIS since 2008, and I'm as impressed with INCOIS now as before. This was the first institution where observations were actually, the model outputs were superimposed on observations, and that amazed me. It continues to amaze me. It shows, one, your confidence in your products, but also your transparency to improve. And today's interaction also showed that you're willing to listen. I'd like to touch upon two aspects. I'm speaking from the CDRI, the Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure. Out of 42 member countries, 12 are island nations for us, and 22 have a coastline, basically. So on both these aspects, we have a specific program called IRIS, addressing all island nations across all the geographic areas, which is why my colleague asked about Caribbean, Pacific, along with the Indian Ocean. So in all of these island nations, much of the coastal infrastructure is what is accounting for almost the entire infrastructure. If you look at atoll nations, for instance, 6 out of 10 health facilities are located less than a few hundred meters from the coastline. While you talked a lot about the ocean, I'd like to also touch upon what happens inland, which is alongside the coast. I think there, the information that can be generated by INCOIS, which is already generated, we would like to focus on its application and integration for decision making, in ensuring that it is also helping in not just the planning, but also the operations of coastal infrastructure. Touching upon the second part, in the interest of time, in the 22 coastal countries, when you see, almost half or 40% of the population lives along the coast. Half of the largest cities in the world are along the coast. The coast contributes to more than, I think, significant percentage of the GDP. With all this, the information that is necessary for acting is actually paramount in the coastline. And for that, a lot could be done. If you look specifically on Pacific, there is a coastal squeeze. Because of whatever is driving the economy, there's a movement of population. There's a increasing concentration day by day, year by year of these vulnerabilities along the coast. Information becomes critical. And we'd like to, look at how we can collaborate with INCOIS on few aspects. One, getting this forecast and observation data to them. Second one is building capacities to integrate these in their decision making. Third one is peer learning. Bringing them to INCOIS, you have wonderful centers. We'd like to facilitate this aspect of bringing these countries and scientists as well as decision makers to apply this kind of information. Lastly, data as a strategy. We have a platform called GIRI, which is one of its kind, the Global Infrastructure Risk Model and Resilience Index, where we have mapped exposure of infrastructure assets across 8 categories. And we'd like to request collaboration with INCOIS to be able to use your products to be able to tailor make some advisories. So thank you so much for inviting us to be part of this August gathering.
Thank you, Ramaraj. I think again, I keep getting calls, people are waiting. So maybe I'll take the last question and then try to sum up. The last question is related to how INCOIS data and products are being utilized in the scientific and academic research, and would like to know the gap areas. So I request Dr. Sridhar, is a principal scientist from SIC, CICA or CIFT. Sridhar, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. And first of all, happy 26th Foundation Day. And I thank the director for inviting me for my reflections. Let me start a little bit of introduction of myself. Actually, I worked with Sailesh in forming the initial research on PFZ at a Space Application Center. He was a group director. That was 99. At that time, I was posted in Viraval, and we were working, and that's how the product was developed. And then it was passed on to INCOIS for dissemination, and they have really done well in tuning this product to a level of bringing out an app. I congratulate them, because when we were making this tool, we never thought that it will come in such a long way. And then also from 2012 to 17, I worked on tuna advisory series which they were making to refine it, because my job was validation of what was, and my inputs were given to them, and they have fine-tuned the tuna advisories also. So I have a long journey with them, and today they have so many other things. It all started with fisheries, but as you see, there are many other products which they are involving, tsunami and many things. So I, being a fishery person, I would like to bring in some points which will help them in their products which are already refined. I don't have to say much, but then there were always challenges when we were working about the utilization of this product, PFZ, to demersal resources. Because in our country, 90% of the fleet is demersal. So as today they have pointed out that there will be some obstructions. So I strongly feel that now that there is a volume of data available for bathymetry in our country. Sagar Sampada has a volume of data with it, and I am also advisor to CMLRE. And in one of the meetings, I was telling them that this needs to be incorporated with your INCOIS data to see the bathymetry. We should avoid forecast in the areas where there are obstructions, and it's first of all coming out with a map of trawlable and non-trawlable grounds. So then if there is a aggregation in a non-trawlable ground, there is no need of forecasting. So we should be aware of that, and bathymetry will really play a very important role, understanding what are the, and now again, I wanted to bring is there is a lot of fishing pressure nowadays. Capture fisheries is struggling. So INCOIS can help us in understanding the areas where there is a lot of fishing pressure. You can avoid the areas where there is intense fishing pressure. It may be a very good trawlable ground, but the amount of pressure needs to be calculated, the amount of boats which are operating in the area. And if we said, as now I think a time has come for us to understand, not asking the fishermen how to fish, how to sustainably fish. And in that, this plays a very important role. And now we are talking about species-specific, validity. It's like you are launching Hilsa. It is all fine, jellyfish, I have been hearing. But then in a multi-species composition, like when a cordon comes to a deck in a country, there are 300 species. When you start identifying taxonomically wise, you'll find 300 species in the deck. So they basically act on eco groups. So we need to understand, suppose we are targeting shrimps, what is the eco group in which shrimps are particularly? You are talking Hilsa, what is the eco group it is involved in? Because what is happening is the pressure with the target species is bringing out a lot of bycatches. Because if you are targeting Hilsa, it's Hilsa, I'm not worried about other catches, but they are all in the food chain, a part of the eco group. So we should now concentrate on understanding what the eco group is, or else the pressure will be there on the target species, and along with that. See, for example, I have been working on shrimps, because Visakhapatnam East Coast was one of the best shrimp grounds in the world, not only India. Then we saw that when shrimps are coming into the net, they are not worried about clupids or eupinoids. Eupinoids are called goat fishes. So they fill the hold only with shrimps, and the eupinoids are thrown back. These are all dead. So there is a lot of pressure on eupinoids. And this is nutritionally as good as any other fish. If taken by humans, this is a very good value protein which we are throwing back. So these concerns are very important, and only institution which can answer them is INCOIS with the eco-based modeling. So I would stress on that. And coming to the oceanic resources, again, our tool is very good. I appreciate INCOIS, but there needs to be a little bit of refining, because thermocline is the mantra for tuna. It is in and around thermocline. And then somehow we are not able to get the exact thermocline area through our. So we need, because again, this differs from species. Yellowfin, bluefin. So this is a challenge we have. If you go to the minute details, we need to do a little bit of detailing, which other countries have started doing to understand and improve the product. I don't want to go into details technically because we are running out of time. And then Surya Saileshwar talked about ghost fishing. Now again, I'll tell you, when we are improving our products, we are asking the fishermen to go into deeper waters, and these are not trawlable grounds, so they're going with the gill nets. Shar also mentioned just now, I am coming to that, about the turtles. What is happening is the gill net are going deeper and deeper because you have a tool, you have an aggregation, so they go. And what is happening is when the gill nets are going into deeper, these resources, like there are accidental mortalities of turtles because these nets, if they get stuck, they are kept in water for 12 hours. As such, turtle would not die once entangled, but it is suffocated to death because it has to come up for breathing. So 12 hours. So these nets, the number of nets is increasing. And the probability of losing this gear is also increasing, which are again forming, they're drifting away and forming into ghost nets. What we can do right now, plastic pollution and ghost net fishing is a major problem we are facing. So if we could identify and encourage the fishermen and have a dialogue with them, we give them some incentives that if you bring back, because if a netting is not brought back to the land for recycling, it is creating a havoc in the ocean. So INCOIS can identify the zones where the lots of plastic ghost nets we can identify. And then also we have the challenge of stopping fishermen from going into MPS, marine protected areas. Now Orissa sir is here. There are marked zonation for turtles, nesting and all. So if fishermen are venturing into that, that can be given to the coast guards, and that will be, very, very, very important. This is one field in which we can work. And one more important is IUU fishing. There is a lot of poaching going on the East Coast and West Coast also. There are a lot of foreign vessels which are entering. And so there are all the organizations here, because I am getting complaints from a lot of fishermen that, a lot of Taiwanese, many of the vessels are entering into our EZ and China. Yeah. See. So we have a lot of information from the fisher people. Now, if INCOIS can come out with tracking these, so we, first of all, we need to have a very strong VMS tool. And INCOIS is working on that. I know that you are working on that. So in that, if we have a very strong information VMS tool, then definitely we can, catch the vessels which are not in our network, and then give the information to them. So these are some of the pressing issues I feel. And climate resilient, a lot of people have spoken. I don't want to speak. So I was prepared for a 5-minute talk, but I am curtailing it, and I once again thank you all for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you all. I think now 1:36 already, another 20 minutes for the foundation. We have to go and have our lunch, so I'm not going to take time to sum up, but I would like to thank all the panelists for giving us a lot of points for our consideration and improving our services. So back to organizers.
Yeah. Okay, without any much delay, this is time for felicitation. What I would like to request the guests to please stand up here. And I would like to request Mr. Patabi Ramarao, Group Director INCOIS, to felicitate the guests as well as the panelists. I would like to request Mr. Patabi to felicitate Captain S.I. Abdul Kalam Azad, Nautical Advisor to the Government of India, DG Shipping, by presenting a memento. Yeah, thank you, sir. I would like to request Mr. Patabi to felicitate Dr. Kamal Lochan Mishra, IAS Executive Director, OSDMA. Again, requesting to felicitate Commodore Abhinav Barve, CMDE, Naval Oceanography and Meteorology, Indian Navy. Again, requesting to felicitate ADG Downey Michael, PTM TM Coast Guard Eastern Seaboard. Requesting, sir, to felicitate Captain Manish Kumar, Nautical Surveyor come DDG Tech, DG Shipping. Again, requests are due to felicitate Dr. U. Sridhar, Principal Scientist, SIC, VRC, ICAR, CIFT. Request again to felicitate Dr. Velvidi, Scientist and Area Director, Coastal Resource Fisheries, MSSRF. Again, requesting Patabi to felicitate Sri Ramraj Narasimhan, Senior Director, Program Management and Technical Support, CDRI. We would like to also present some certificate of appreciation to Reliance Foundation regarding the collaboration we had been having. I would like to request Reliance Foundation team to come and receive it. Yeah, thank you, sir. And I would like to request MSSRF representative LVD or other representative to please receive the certificate of appreciation for our collaboration and all the past work we have been doing. Yeah, I would like to request to please be seated. And this is the last session. In 2 minutes, this is again I have to do vote of thanks. Yeah, time has arrived to thank. And we are so indebted to Dr. Shailesh Naik for gracing the occasion as a chief guest. Thanks to Captain S.I. Abdul Kalam Azad, Nautical Advisor to Government of India, DG Shipping, for agreeing and be with us as a special guest despite his busy schedule, sir. Dr. Kamal Lojan Mishra, IAS Executive Director, OSDMA, is thanked for attending the function and also chairing the session. All the 7 panelists are thanked for efficiently participating and giving ideas in the panel discussion. Thanks to all the delegates, right from fishers to industrialists, who made out this event with their presence. Thanks a lot. And outstanding sustainable non-financial partnership of Reliance Foundation. They are really thanked, and there is a special message from Chief Development Officer, Mr. Sudarshan. He has conveyed the message through, Chitti Babu and team. I thank the support from entire INCOIS team, administration, colleagues, audiovisual team, organizing team, especially whoever doing too much for organizing it. Specifically, thanks to my co-organizer Anish for synergetic effort to reach to a successful event as a part of Foundation Day, actually. Afternoon is the Foundation Day program. Thanks to all the group directors and DHS of INCOIS, and thanks a lot for Director INCOIS, Dr. Balashwan Nair. Without his wholehearted support, this function wouldn't have been successfully conducted, managerially and also technically. Thanks to all who tirelessly worked behind the scene to make this event a success. Thanks to one and all the support for making this event most effective and grand success. Once again, thanks to all from my side as well. Thank you very much. Yeah, actually, a small announcement. Lunch is arranged in the seminar hall of ITCU building, the nearest building. The people will guide you, actually. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, as early as possible, we have to come back